When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Generational success means different things to different people. But to us, it means seeing my daughter follow in my footsteps, keeping the farm in the family, just getting to do this every day. We're Agtegra Cooperative, and we're generationally successful. That's who we are. Agtegra Cooperative.
Hey Josie, why so glum, chum?
I can't find a way to get my whole group to one spot without taking all these cars.
You haven't heard of Denwall Transportation? They have luxury seating buses with air conditioning, outlets to charge your phone, and other must-haves for traveling.
Whoa, no way!
Yeah, you should check them out.
Where can I find them?
You can follow them on Facebook or denwalltransportation.com, or hey, let's give them a call at 605-532-3836. Denwall Transportation, let us do the driving.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Allied Plumbing and Heating is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
John Hoffman Electric is your neighborhood electrical service contractor and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
Each day brings the opportunity to make a difference.
Bank West, Beck Motors, Dakota Storm, Kruger Contracting, Overhead Door, Live Ticket, Brinky Gray Wealth Management, Avera Orthopedics, Capital City Motors, Century Business Products, Superior Concrete, Brittany Scheffelbein Agency LLC, All Around Graphics, Anderson Rumsa Dental, Black Hills Federal Credit Union, Capital City Campus, Coca-Cola, Delta Dental, Comtech, First Dakota National Bank, Floss Dentistry, Guadalajara, Iceberg Funeral Home, James River Broadcasting and DRG Media Group, Maher Law Office, Midco, Olinger Law Firm, Pierre Chamber of Commerce, Pierre Dental Clinic, Pitts Design and Build, Red Rosa, South Dakota National Guard, Stolken Peterson Lingle Walti and Jones LLP, and Wegner Auto. And now DRG Media Group proudly presents Live Pierre Governor Football.
Hey, thank you very much, and a very good Friday afternoon here as we bring you another edition of Pierre Governor Football, your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com. Today it's homecoming, once again the third straight homecoming game that the Governors will play. 2 weeks ago they had their own homecoming, a win over Brookings at Hollister Field. Last week they went to Yankton, played a great game in a come-from-behind effort, tied it in the last minute, 28-28, but then, of course, Yankton got that final touchdown with 6 seconds left in a 35-28 victory. And then here, the third straight homecoming contest that the Governors will be a part of. We welcome you to McEnany Field on the campus of O'Gorman High School in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Governors' 11 AAA opponent for the season. Last year, O'Gorman came to Pierre and beat the Governors 42-14. We'll see what they've got coming up in this one today. Like Pierre, O'Gorman comes in with a record of 3-2, and they had an impressive win over Sioux Falls Jefferson 32-29 1 week ago. Brian Oakland with the play-by-play, along with Addie Johnson, who starts our technical direction back in studio. Caleb Brozick is up on the roof. He's got a bird's eye view of this one as well, and we'll have live video streams available from drgnews.com, the River 92.7 page, and also on your DRG News smartphone app. You can also watch this game through gogovs.live, which you can access through the Pierre School website as well. Should be a good one, should be a fun one, and we're joined once again on the road by Sean Lewis, the Governor, former defensive coordinator, to give us some expert analysis of this one. And Coach Lewis, you didn't see in person that game in Yankton last week. I know you saw a lot of it, watching it and things like that. Once again, you see a Governor team that is never out of a ball game. They get down early, you know they can come back. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in the end, but there's no questioning the fight and the want to and the desire of this Governor team, especially now as we get past the halfway point of the season. You got to feel pretty good about where these kids are right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to see the progression, and I watched, darn near every snap last week on my way to Mankato, Minnesota. At certain times saying some profane language at the phone, but at other times just simply cheering on the Govs and just seeing the progression. I mean, you saw it as they started to figure out the game, late in the second quarter and then the entire second half, and then just unfortunately, kind of the ending that they had with a little bit of letdown. But you've definitely seen the progression, and if Yankton is the top team in AA, well, then we're right there. So we're right exactly where we want to be, especially at this point in time in the season.
And that just brings up the point about the Governors and the coaching staff and the kids who respond to adjustments that are made throughout the game. And, sometimes you got to make them a little bit quicker, but hey, that's just something you can never doubt about the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, I mean, in any game, you go in with a game plan. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then you have to make an adjustment. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And so, as that game started to progress, you saw defensively the Governors really start to figure out what Yankton was doing. You can talk about tempo and pace that Yankton plays with. You can discuss it all week in practice. You can try and mock it, but until you actually see it and do it in a game, I remember when I was a defensive coordinator, we were trying to do that constantly. It's just until you get into the game, you don't know exactly how fast that is. And so when you're trying to get in a call from the sideline and relay it to your guys, and then they're trying to relay it to everybody else, it is a very, very learned process, especially when you get a staff like Yankton who probably had their first 2 drives completely scripted.
Yeah.
So it was 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, and there was no discussion. They all knew the plays. They'd probably rehearsed, at least those first 2 drives over and over and over again in practice. And so, I mean, you are a step behind from the beginning, but then once you kind of feel it, once you kind of settle it down, once everybody kind of gets that game jitters out of the way and kind of settle in, that was when you saw the Governors really start to gain stride, make those quick adjustments, and ultimately swing the whole tide in the game.
All right, and we'll see how they continue that. Another road game for the Governors here at O'Gorman. Again, going to be a tough one, but we'll see what kind of adjustments the Govs can make throughout this one. And, of course, we've got the call coming up for you. Let's start with a 3-minute timeout, and our Bank West pregame show starts things up. It's Bank West for the best. We'll start with keys to success and coaches' conversations. Later on, we'll take a look around the state of South Dakota and Class 11 AA and a little bit of AAA as well that features the O'Gorman Knights and others. Of course, Central South Dakota's schedule on the way to starting lineups and all of that and more coming up in 3 minutes as we bring you a 5 o'clock kickoff homecoming for the Bishop O'Gorman Knights. This is Pierre Governor Football on your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
there when you need them the most. Bank West Insurance
Follow
Agency.
through with integrity, to solve challenges through innovative thinking, and to bring the technical know-how needed to get the job done. At Wilbur Ellis, this is how we work, standing side by side as local experts who partner with the stewards of the land. We do it together. That's the power of we.
Protect what matters most with the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, American Family Insurance. Our personalized insurance solutions ensure you're covered, no matter what life throws your way. From home and auto to farm, commercial, and life, we tailor policies to fit your unique needs. With our dedicated team and exceptional service, you'll have peace of mind knowing you're in good hands. Contact the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, LLC.
Best of luck in today's competition to the Pierre Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy, your local agronomy experts. Black Sheep Agronomy wants you to have a successful farm plan, and they're focused on products and practices that work in this region. As community members themselves, Tyler, Tice, and Austin support area students who work hard in their school and extracurricular activities. Good luck, Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy. Call 842-6104 for all your agronomy needs.
Stay in a beautiful Black Hills vacation home, the Summit on Dancing Sky near Leeds, South Dakota, in the popular Powder House Pass development. It's a modern rustic design with over 5,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, and 5 baths for you to enjoy. You'll get gorgeous views of the Terry Peak Mountain Range. There's a community pool to enjoy, and you're close to all the attractions like Deadwood, Sturgis, Spearfish, and a whole lot more. The Summit on Dancing Sky. Visit them at dancingsky.com.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
At Dakota Behavioral Health, we offer comprehensive mental health services, including medication management. With offices in Pierre and Winter, we provide in-person and telehealth appointments to fit your schedule. Whether you're managing anxiety, depression, stress, or other concerns, our compassionate team is here to help. We are currently accepting new clients, so take the first step toward better mental health today. Call Dakota Behavioral Health at 605-702-6769 or visit dakotabh.com to schedule your appointment.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than
41st and Kiwanis in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's where you find Bishop O'Gorman High School. That's also where you find the facility that is McEnany Field, a longtime home here for O'Gorman High. The other Sioux Falls public schools usually play at Howard Wood Field. In fact, there's a couple of games going on up that way tonight as well. But O'Gorman, well, they certainly prefer playing on their own home field right here in Sioux Falls. Brian Oakland with you, and we welcome you back to the Bank West pregame show. Going to start with Keys to Success tonight. You just heard from Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre, the sponsor for our Keys to Success segments, and we'll talk with both head coaches coming up here momentarily. But for all of those on the road, Pierre fans coming to Sioux Falls or wherever you happen to be heading, and for whatever the reason, remember the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety celebrates being a part of a team. They remind us all to slow the drive, arrive alive, and buckle up too, every trip, every time. You've got someplace to be. Reminders from the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety. We start with Keys to Success. Let's chat with Coach Steve Steele of the Pierre Governors. Keys to Success from Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. All right, here we go. Time for Week 6. Keys to Success with head coach Steve Steele and the Pierre Governors off of a loss last week at Yankton, 35-28. Coach, you're down 21-0, and fans know that the Pierre Governors can come from any deficit. We've seen it before, and you came all the way back and tied at 28-28. But still, sometimes it's just tough to dig yourselves a big hole, and I think that was unfortunately the lesson you found out last Friday down at Yankton.
Yeah, I mean, we had way too many mistakes in the first quarter that put us into a big hole, and it's just hard to recover from that against anyone more or less a really good team like Yankton. So we had plays that were there to be made, we just didn't make them, and the good part is that was a September loss, and we can learn from it. Hopefully that doesn't turn into October, November losses.
And I think that's still one of those games where if you make one of those plays, certainly two of them, you're probably looking on a W instead of a one in the loss column there.
Yeah, definitely. And that again, that's the fortunate part of where we're at is we just have to keep improving, keep getting to the point where we're playing our three best at the end. And again, I think we were right there in that game. If we start a little bit better, even offensively or defensively, then I think that's a totally different story throughout the entire game.
Pierre and Yankton, it's always a physical battle, and it got a little physical, I guess, and there are some bumps and bruises, unfortunately, here.
Yeah, and we'll kind of see who all is going to play and how much they're going to play today. But yeah, we've got kind of an array of people that we don't want to say pitch counting or whatnot, but making sure that after this game we're ready for a big run.
Because now you play the O'Gorman Knights, and it's your AAA game, and O'Gorman's been pretty impressive. They had a really nice win over Jefferson last week, 32-29. They got you pretty good last year. It's a different group of guys, I think, that they have, but still, I'm sure you go into this game expecting to perform well and things like that, but is this the game that you have to force guys into play if you really have to be careful with them, I guess?
Yeah, no, I mean, we want to grow. We want to improve. We want to continue our development. And, the most important piece of development is being available and being healthy. And, we're not going to put anyone in harm's way today that we don't trust is 100% ready to go. We're not at the point in the season right now that, that you have to get guys in the game if they're 70%. That time will come obviously here in a few weeks, but we're not there yet. So we want to, if getting them to 100% next week can happen by them, being on a pitch count today, then that's what's going to happen.
All right. So O'Gorman, with what they do have, what have you seen from this team on film, and what can you maybe take advantage of this time?
Yeah, they fly around on the defensive side of the ball. They really, really pursue the ball well. They're really athletic. I don't know that they have, imposing size as you would see from some teams in AAA, but they make up for that with a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed. On the offensive side, they do a lot of RPO game. They do a lot of screen game. They just have a really strong variety of what they do, and they distribute the ball pretty well.
It just historically, it just seems weird that that they've got a passing offense where they might throw for 300 a game when this team has been, in all the Keeter years a long time ago, it was such a run-heavy offense.
Yeah, and then they have a really good running back. 24 is a really good player back there. He runs really hard, and like I said, they kind of use him to soften up a little bit, and then that's when they'll take their shots.
Defensively, though, they look a little susceptible. I mean, obviously, good teams are putting points on the board, but I think you have a good offensive team as well. Yeah,
we know there's going to be plays to be made down there. We know that's going to be ready. We'll be ready to go offensively. And again, I think that they've struggled with some of the bigger teams, again, being a little bit undersized for AAA. But I said their speed really has made up for it in a lot of cases. But, there's certain one-on-one matchups that teams have gotten them on. And, it's been tough for a lot of teams to really sustain it. But, they've been susceptible to some big plays.
And it's their homecoming match. There's nothing more enjoyable than screwing up somebody's homecoming, I guess. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that done in Yankton last week.
Yeah, this will be the end of our homecoming parade of back-to-back homecoming weeks. So, it'll be a good game. It'll be a fun atmosphere. Different playing at 5 o'clock. Probably having heat timeouts in October. But at the same point in time, it's a football game. We'll go see what we can do.
Must be a road game. No rain and a lot of temperature.
But, rain will be back next week probably.
We'll see. All right, keys to success against these O'Gorman Knights.
Yeah, offensively, we've really got to stay with our partners when we're double teaming, when we're blocking. We can't give them seams to run through. They do a great job pursuing the football and filling holes. So being able to stay hip to hip is going to be important in a lot of those run games. And pass game wise, we just got to catch the ball. I think we will have those opportunities as we had last week. We just got to catch them and make good throws and make good catches. Defensively, I think the speed hurt our communication a little bit last week. I think that we just got to be a step better there. I think if we get everybody in the right spots and they continue to play the way they can play, I think we'll be fine on that side.
All right, Coach, let's go get them. All right.
Thanks.
Steve Steele, Governor, head coach. Coach's comments, keys to success, brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. And again, we have already heard from them, so we'll continue our keys to success segment. And a guy that you might remember, former Pierre Governor head coach Jason Poppinga, the head coach of the Gorman Knights, as our keys to success continue. All right, our keys to success will continue. An old friend we get to talk to, and Jason Poppinga, the head coach of the Gorman Knights. Coach off to a 3-2 start and a couple of losses on the season to the two teams that seem to be the cream of the crop in 11 AAA and Lincoln and Brandon Valley, but some impressive wins, including last week in a good battle with Sioux Falls Jefferson, 32-29. And I think you guys have a little bit more inexperience this year, but the guys are coming along, and you're playing right along with just about everybody, aren't you?
Yeah, we have, and even the two losses we had, the Brandon Lincoln games, like you said, really inexperienced team this year. We have quite a few seniors, but lost a group of seniors last year that filled a lot of positions for us, and it was learning for us. So those first games, we got Lincoln week 2 and Brandon week 3, that we hung with them for 2-3 quarters and then really lost them kind of in the end, and the scores looked pretty ugly. But our kids are growing up, and every time we give them new experience, they've kind of risen to the occasion. And last week was a great one where we could have easily folded, and at halftime we had a 21-point swing that happened in the last 30 seconds of the first half, and the kids battled back, to get a tough victory against a really good Jefferson team that realistically could have taken down Lincoln the week before. So I think there's a lot of parity in AAA, and the top 6 teams there are all really close.
Yeah, I totally agree. Last year you had Sullivan Schlimgen that kind of led the way. Who do you have this year that's leading the way, especially offensively, and especially guys that have to fill some holes that were left by graduation last year?
Well, obviously you don't replace Sullivan Schlimgen, and I think he had one of his nice games last year up in Pierre and played really, really well, and you could see the kind of player that he was. And he's obviously playing now for Washington State and seeing the field already as a true freshman, that you just don't replace that kid.
Yeah.
But I think our team this year is really balanced. Our quarterback's doing a great job. He's not necessarily the most athletic. He's not going to stick any numbers out there as far as like what he does with his feet, but really heady kid and great football knowledge. And as a junior, Chase Hermanson is just doing a great job. And he's got some big numbers to back it up. In the Lincoln game, I think he threw for over 300 yards in the first half. And so, he's a kid that's making great decisions. And Gavin Hamrick our tailback is back. He missed a couple weeks, so his season stats aren't very good. But we got him back last week, and he made some big plays, a couple touchdowns for us, one receiving and then one rushing. And then the rest of the crew, we've got a really balanced look. We're really happy about that, especially offensively. I think last week we completed balls to 7 different players, in a really close game. So we're going to need that balance against, a Pierre team that perennially is one of the top teams in the state.
Yeah, a Pierre team that, they've had their scuffles, but they're starting to learn how to put points on the board. And I guess you've had some trouble in keeping teams out of the end zone so far this season. But what concerns do you have with this Pierre offense in particular coming in?
Yeah, we think that they can be explosive. I don't think they've shown that all the time. And obviously, you got a Division I athlete, and we don't have that this year after losing Sully, where you got Terwilliger. And I think, their scheme year in and year out has shown that, he can win championships with it. Steele always does a good job of putting his offense in a good spot to win, and we expect the same thing come Friday night. With I suppose, what can you get done defensively? What do you expect to do offensively against this Governor squad, too? Yeah, they always, play good run defense, and, in last year, I think, like you said, Sullivan Schlimgen had a really good night and, scored a lot of points against them. They get ahead early, and I think we're going to have to, it's going to be a little bit more of a battle this year. I think we're going to have to be really balanced against them, and hopefully we get some of our playmakers in space to make some explosive plays. Okay.
Any other keys to success in this game, then?
I think, getting out early and homecoming week for us, a 5 o'clock game, it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
I think the estimated temperature, we're looking at 80-some degrees here at kickoff. So, I think all those factors are going to play, and it's not a normal Friday night football game. So how things go early, I think, are going to make a big difference which team shows up to play right away.
All right, Coach, we're looking forward to it. And, man, it's good to talk to you again. And we'll see you and wish you the best of luck, all right?
Hey, thank you.
There he is, former Pierre Governor head coach Jason Poppinga, and his, I believe it's 11 years now at O'Gorman. Of course, he was replaced by Steve Steele, who is still the head coach of the Pierre Governors as well. Coach's comments, keys to success, brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. Let's pause for 3 minutes, and we'll come back with starting lineups as our Bank West pregame continues. Ready for a 5 o'clock kickoff here at O'Gorman High with the Pierre Governors and your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Explore the 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a re-carpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start-stop technology, you'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierre, South Dakota.
Futures aren't made by accident. They're dreamt.
And Jack Stockland, both seniors. Stockland a little bit bigger than Mebius for what it's worth. On the line in the center is Easton Erickson. Small line overall. Erickson just 185, and a senior Chase Halfman is a junior at 225 pounds at the left guard spot. Henry Chenoa is a 290-pound senior right guard. Dylan Fitzgerald, the left tackle, 250, and a junior. Rip Simmonsma, a 250-pound senior, is the right tackle. The tight end is Jace Muller, a 220-pound senior. Right tackle Simmonsma, we understand, is committed to play collegiately at Northwestern, an NAI school in Orange City, Iowa. Simmonsma is the nose guard on defense as well, flanked by the defensive ends in Grant Roth and Colin Boyle, a couple of sub-200-pound seniors, but very quick. Nonetheless, middle linebackers are Sam Donahoe, a junior. Parker Scheidt goes both ways as well. Outside linebacker Gavin Hamrick starting on defense as well as offense, as is Logan Mebius, one of the cornerbacks. He'll be joined by Aaron Stoll, a sophomore, 160 pounds. The safety is Carter Majerus. The strong safety, Isaac Meyer, both juniors. Hunter Cox, a senior, plays free safety for the O'Gorman Knights. They're 3-2 through an 11 AAA season so far. Their head coach is the former Pierre Governor head coach Jason Poppinga, as well as his brother Shannon Poppinga, who was with him in Pierre. Vinny Olson, a former Pierre Governor player and coach, is also here. Aaron Beavers providing some coaching expertise. He's a veteran head coach in South Dakota as well. It's a great crew leading the Bishop O'Gorman Knights. The starting lineups for Sioux Falls O'Gorman High. They're brought to you by Envirotech. We'll give you the Governor's starters very quickly. And, there was some question as to who all would start, but it's the typical cast-in crew all ready to go, including Caleb Lounsbury, who got banged up at the end of the Yankton game. The senior Lounsbury leads the way with Carter Merrill, the senior at the featured tailback. Carter Shufflebine got banged up as well at the end of that Yankton game. The junior wideout will be featured tonight. Lincoln Dilgis, the senior. Jaron Deal, the sophomore, off of a 2-touchdown catch game at Yankton, starting as well. Cooper Terwilliger, the junior 240-pounder, the tight end. The offensive line starts with Bryson Wallman, the 215-pound junior center in the middle. Max Schmitz, the junior. Max Bogenhagen, the senior, are the guards. Colton Cass and Tucker Ott, a pair of senior tackles on the outside for the Governor offensive line. Defensively, Lathan Rounds, the nose tackle, the sophomore, along with Max Bogenhagen and Maximus Schmitz, the tackles. Defensively, outside linebackers are Hudson Schaefer and Lincoln Schoenhardt, a pair of seniors. Sam Larson and Will Eilers, junior, and a sophomore, are the middle linebackers, with Logan Whitty, a junior. Aiden Beam, a senior, in at cornerbacks. The strong safety, Porter Hunsley, the sophomore. The free safety, Sutton Sonnenschein, a junior. There was some question whether Sutton would be able to start tonight, but he is also ready to go. For the Pierre Governors, who are 3-2 on the season, head coach Steve Steele, assisted by coaches Magic, Nye, Heggie, Spoor, Slice, Schleck, and Trow. The starting lineups brought to you by Envirotech in Pierre. We will pause for 2 minutes, and we'll come back with our game officials and the opening kick still on the way as we continue our Pierre Governor and Bank West pregame on River 92.7.
They're discovered. At Northern State University, futures are the result of hard work and grit. NSU is an academic powerhouse with a spirit of exploration and genuine support, where professors know your name and push you to discover what you're truly capable of. But don't take our word for it. When you experience Northern, you'll see the difference here.
Welcome back to the
leading the cheers tonight, first for governors, Anna Galvani, Miliana Johnson, Amelia Lott, Peyton Gregorian, Grace O'Neill, Mindy Riggle, and Abigail Stanley. The cheer coach for the governors is Sarah Berger. Leading the cheers for the Knights, Ella Adamak, Ackley Barch, Elizabeth Benz, Delaney Berg, Shay Botel, Deanna Garrett, Hadley Holte, Lizzie Hosek, Addison Cook, Ella Lutman, Madeline Marshall, Jada Mooney, Olivia Miner, Rainey Skolton, Josie Stewart, Peyton Terrell, Riley Weber, and tonight is Kate Wilson.
Welcome back to McEnany Field once again. It's Gorman hosting the Pierre Governors, and it's a hot one. Both head coaches alluded to it. Maybe some heat timeouts. We certainly hope to have heat timeouts tonight. It is, it's 91 degrees here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's hot back home, I'm sure, as well. We are undercover, at least indoors, where Caleb Brozick is up on the roof of the press box, so he's in the sunshine. I think he's comfortable, but we're a little warm in the box here as well. Brian Oakland along with Sean Lewis. Let's continue what orders of business we have here as our starting lineups are being named on the field. We've given you our Envirotech starting lineups. Let's give you the other starting lineup list, and that is the naming of today's game officials. Our game officials, we call them the law on the field, and they're brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office and their Division of Consumer Protection. First, let's hear this important message, and then your game officials are next in Governor Football.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Consumer Protection Division, giving us our law on the field as we present to you game officials, whom we always thank for doing what is very oftentimes a thankless job, and that's officiating high school sports, in this case, of course, high school football. Refereeing tonight is Derek Omi. He is joined by the supporting cast of Trevor McCown, John McGrath, Casey Volker, and Todd Lamberty. Those are our game officials. They are the law on the field. Derek Omi, Trevor McCown, John McGrath, Casey Volker, Todd Lamberty. Thanks, guys, for being our law on the field, brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Consumer Protection Division. Just about game time. We'll bring in the coach, Sean Lewis, to talk a little bit more about this one. Coach, what's the hottest game you ever played or coached or things like that, man? This is August-tober here in the first weekend of fall, I suppose you'd say.
Yeah, this is definitely right up there. I mean, you are sitting here in the dead center of Sioux Falls. You're in the concrete jungle, plus they're down there on a turf field, so it's 10 degrees. Even hotter, man. I tell you what, we played one in Harrisburg a while back that I seriously contemplated, like, giving myself the douse of the water bucket, but then I, thought to myself, well, these kids are going to need to drink this here. We're in pregame still, but no, I was definitely looking to take a cold bath or a shower after that one, and this one is right up there with it.
You got to keep those heat timeouts coming, but of course you got to keep shuffling people in and out, and depth actually becomes a bit of a problem sometimes in games like this.
Yeah, at least it's not game one of the season, because I really think that game that I remember was the first one of the season, so our depth wasn't there, our rotation wasn't there. There was a lot of things going against us for that one, but hopefully here we're pretty much dead center middle of the season, so shape shouldn't be an issue. Everything else rotation wise, every team's they've got their stuff, they know where they're going, system, everything, so it should be an easier in and out, but I definitely hope the officials on the field take care of them, take a few heat timeouts and give them that rest that they need.
Everybody's probably more in game shape, mid-season form if you will, but where does the focus come into play too? You've got to still be mentally focused in heat games like this.
So that's probably the biggest thing that people don't quite understand is, you can play, you can get hot, you can get tired, but the mental fatigue all of a sudden when you get hot, that's when your focus goes. So people oftentimes, coaching wrestling as well, they're like, why do you guys practice in a hot room? Well, it increases fatigue, and you've got to be able to perform, when things aren't optimal, on top of the weight loss and other things. But, it's a part of the game, and you really see guys, if they're mentally strong, they're able to do this, and you don't even know. And you see other guys that just aren't necessarily used to it. They cripple, they fold. It's a definite issue, and it could be even in the middle of the season.
Well, hopefully good things coming up, and hopefully everybody comes out unscathed and still healthy at the end of this one. Pierre and O'Gorman coming up. The enactment of the coin toss is going on right now. Let's take a 1-minute timeout, and we'll be back to kick this one off at your Comtech kickoff. Coming up next, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Smart grocery shopping takes a little TLC. Thrifty, local, and convenient. Dakota Mart in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Walk down the aisles and find the highest quality meats, freshest produce, and delicious bakery and deli items. This week's special, Best Choice, 12 packs of top associated flavors, free $12. On your way home, stop at Dakota Mart Gas and save up to 20 cents per gallon every day. Dakota Mart, your hometown neighborhood market.
Comtech has your technology solutions. Check out their showroom located right off the truck route on Irwin Street. Come in and see what you've been missing. A large selection of TVs, sound systems, and smart speakers, PCs, desktops, and tablets, home and business security and telecommunication systems. Comtech is your all-in-one solution for any technology needs. Wishing all athletes the best of luck in today's competition. Comtech. Come see what you've been missing.
KJFX-FM and K296FI Pierre. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
Welcome back, everybody. Governor Football Week 6 is on the air on your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and DRGnews.com. I'm Brian Oakman, joined at side by the coach, Sean Lewis. Up above, it's Caleb Brozick running a live video stream through Live Tickets coverage and DRGnews.com and the River 92.7 page. Watch this on your phone as well with the DRG News smartphone app. Addie Johnson, Chuck Hansen, William Wilson, they are our technical directors this evening. The Governors win the toss. They elect to receive. Our Comtech opening kick is coming up. Rylan Cody will kick it away left to right for the O'Gorman Knights in blue with the black pants. And boom, it's up in the air, and Jaron Deal back deep will let it go into the end zone. The Governors will start with a touchback, and they've got it at their own 20-yard line. Throughout the broadcast, we invite you to stay tuned and listen for our Right on the Money highlight plays. It's Rounds Financial Services sponsoring Right on the Money highlight plays. Rounds Financial Services in Pierre, where your money works for you. Mosaic Wealth member, SIPC. So here we go, and we'll find out what the Governors can do, especially offensively. Last week, they deferred the opening kick after winning the toss, but Yankton promptly went down and scored. Yankton ultimately ended up with a 21-0 lead before the Governors got going. Tonight, I'm sure Coach Steve Steele says we want a chance to score first, and the Governors will have it 1st and 10 on the right hash mark, and a handoff right away to Carter Merrill, but the Knights are there to stack him up, 2 or 3 of them all there, and number 23, Carter Majerus, one of the linebackers, in on the stop. Just a 1-yard gain off the bat for the Governors.
Yeah, you saw him, put his foot in the dirt, head to the other direction, but like was alluded to at the beginning of the game, that pursuit of the O'Gorman defense, they definitely have some team speed in their favor.
Now, one of the faster bunches I imagine we'll see. Shotgun snap as Caleb Lounsbury looks over the middle, pulls it back down, and here's a chance to Cooper Terwilliger. Looked like he had a man with an arm draped around his backside, Isaac Myers, but this one falls incomplete. Myers got his free hand in on that one, as it is incomplete, and Pierre will have it 3rd and 9 from the 21-yard line. So good start for the Knights so far defensively.
Pretty good defensive technique there. He did have a seatbelt. I mean, he had that hand all the way around, but if that does not, move your body or turn your position, if he goes ahead and turns that hip, that is pass interference, and I bet it would have been called, but he looked pretty clean on it.
You defensive guys, I tell you. Here's a screen pass. Carter Merrill turns it upfield, far side, 25 to the 30, makes a little move, it'll cross the line to gain. It'll be a Pierre 1st down. And I'll tell you what, Coach Lewis, the Governors ran a screen out of the end zone last week. I love a well-executed screen play.
Yeah, screen game, at this point in time in the game, it's just as good as a run, especially because, you can get that out there. You're playing on a nice level field, in a turf field where it's not necessarily a downhill or, an interesting throw. And when you can get it out to Shufflebind or Deal, especially those guys on the edges, just turn it into another aspect of the run game and, get away from all the guys.
Ball inside the far hash mark after an 11-yard gain from Lounsbury to Merrill. Merrill with a nice patient move up the alley. Across the 35 to about the 38. This will be a nice little 6-yard gain on 1st down. And one thing I did not talk on the mic with Coach Steve Steele about, but I did talk to him after our interview that we played back, was time of possession. I think super important for the Governors to win the time of possession battle here tonight.
I would very much agree. Anytime you can keep your offense out on the field, keep your defense off, just increases your chances of scoring. You do want to score, but you also don't want to score too fast, especially in, heat like this. Just kind of take a slow, methodical jaunt down the field and kind of demoralize the defense for the most part.
Nice play run on 2nd and 4. The Governors will cross the 40 and reach the 44. A little sideline out pass to Cooper Terwilliger for a gain of 6. And the Governors move the chains for the 2nd time so far here in the early going. Governors really, I think, want to feature Cooper a little bit more than as more and more as they can as we continue through the season.
I think you always want to feature him more and more. You just got to find ways to do it and see how other teams are going to play him, and then, kind of alternate your scheme a little bit just on what they're giving you to be able to include him.
Back to the ground with Merrill, and the Knights will make it into the backfield quickly, this time from the far hash mark. This will be a loss of 2, maybe 3, and Parker Scheidt, the 200-pound linebacking senior, in on the stop. As it will be a loss of 3. They mark the Governors back to the 41-yard line, 2nd and 13.
Yeah, so the interesting matchup for me is what are they going to do with Rip Simonsma? And you've kind of seen us, we've ran a little bit away from him, and then we ran towards him, and, even though he's not necessarily in on the play, you can see that we have an offensive line attention on where he's at, and that ultimately freed up a backer to make a nice play.
Simonsma, for those who are watching, is the nose guard right in the middle of a 3-down line set. Lounsbury out of the backfield, had to hurry it, floats it a little bit out to the near side flat. Carter Merrill, was open, but this one is off of his outstretched fingertips, as that one thrown just a little bit too high. Once again, Lounsbury had to rush just a little bit. The rush was there, I believe, from 59, the right defensive end, and Grant Roth. So it's 3rd and 13, and the Governors with the ball in the middle of the field. They've moved the chains so far twice. We've got 9:33 to go in our opening quarter. An opening drive that started after a touchback from the 20-yard line. 2 wideouts to the right. Terwilliger is a down lineman along with a wideout to the left. They're throwing over the middle for Cooper, and there's contact, but well-timed by O'Gorman. And once again, 14 here is Isaac Myers, who defended Terwilliger a few plays ago. Breaks this one up, and it's an incomplete pass. Lounsbury 2 out of 5 on the opening drive, but the Governors on 4th and 13 will have to punt.
Yeah, contact there happened, I thought just a hair before the ball got there, but you can definitely see that. I mean, the official was paying attention to it in the back. They are going to let them play, so hopefully, we take that script on the defensive side and just be real physical with our receivers, not letting them get out and, pick us apart.
Lounsbury, the punter, is punting against the wind. We'll talk about that momentarily, but he's got some pretty good hang time, and a fair catch will be called for and taken at the 23-yard line. Punt returner is Braylon Treasure, who does a nice job here. So a good job on the punt for the Governors. They run 8 plays, but they come up empty, and we're scoreless with 9:23 to go in our opening quarter of play. The O'Gorman Knights will come up for the first time at their own 23-yard line. Now we get to see about the speed of O'Gorman. And again, last year, those who were at Hollister Field for this matchup saw Sullivan Schlimgen running roughshod. They don't have a Sully Schlimgen, but they do have Gavin Hamrick, who will take the first down handoff across the left side. He stumbles over a Governor tackler and dives across the 30. Close to a first down. In fact, they're moving the chains already. They started at the 23. They reached the 33. A 10-yard gain on the ground for Gavin Hamrick. This kid's a beast. He's 215 and a senior, running behind a 200-pound fullback in Parker Scheidt.
Yeah, looking at him in pregame, I mean, he does move pretty well. He can put his foot in the dirt and change directions, and like I said, he is a big load. Didn't see a ton out of him with good hands and maybe catching a pass out of the backfield, but definitely to hand off is going to be something where we're going to have to stay in our lanes.
RPO, we'll see that a lot. They fake the handoff, and Chase Hermanson throws out to the near side to Logan Mebius, one of the wideouts. He'll get a 6-yard gain across the 35, brought down by the Govs at the 39. So here we go again, 2nd and 4, back to the ground, and Hamrick across the 40. Governors hit him quickly, but still a burst of energy up to the 44, and that's 5 more, so another chain mover here for the O'Gorman Knights. By the way, O'Gorman in royal blue with white numbers. They've got black pants. This is a look that I really don't think I've ever seen from O'Gorman. You usually think of them as a blue and white with gold trim team, but they're all blue up top and all black on the bottom, trying to provide some black and blue. The Governors get the advantage this time as Lincoln Schoenhardt jumps the gap, and he will bring Hamrick down for a loss of a yard back to the 43.
Yeah, very good play there by Lincoln, squeezing his gap down, staying tight, and the black pants does kind of throw me off a little bit. I've seen the oddity in the green jerseys that O'Gorman used to pull out, as we talked about pregame, and I don't think they have those anymore. And they used to wear them on special occasions like homecoming, so kind of neat to see him out in the blue and white with the black pant combination.
Out to the near side, passing play once again. The Knights will gain up to the 50, and the pass caught this time by Braylon Treasure, a backup wide receiver, the sophomore 170-pounder. Not a big gain, but much more negotiable for the Knights on 3rd down after they pick up 6 here. And it'll be 3rd down and 5, just shy of midfield, right out in front of us. 7-10, counting down, quarter number 1, no score. This is the Knights' opening drive of the game. Hermanson looks for a pass out left side, tucks and runs into Pierre territory, but he is short of a first down. They'll have a yard to go.
Maybe a half.
Maximus Schmitz and coming, they're saying first down already. The referee is saying first down. And the chain gang is a little slow in picking up on this. They're at the Pier 47. That looked a little bit short, and the sideline official came in and was trying to say no, not quite as well. But here we go again. That's Hamrick, near side, spun out of bounds. And a good tackle in the open field by Aiden Beam. Short gain this time. 3 first downs so far for the Knights on their home field on homecoming.
And you alluded to it earlier, that RPO game is definitely something that Poppingas have always done, to be able to freeze a linebacker, be able to get off an edge, but then also, it's just keeping you honest is what it does. So you're going to see that a lot over the game, whether they're going to run it, pull it, pass it. The quarterback's got that option. He said his quarterback is really an intellectual quarterback more than an athlete, and so that's kind of the guy that you want to run the RPO. But as you saw on that third down pickup, he can also pull it and be athletic, even though he may not be the best athlete.
He actually called him a heady player. He throws a little screen out of the backfield too. Gavin Hamrick this time for a 4-yard pickup. And the Knights are faced with another 3rd and 5 as they're chewing clock here. We're coming to the halfway point of quarter number 1, 6:15. Counting down, Governors ran 8 plays but had to punt on their opening drive. Still no score here at McEnany Field. On a hot Friday, late afternoon. Man in motion, and they'll give it. Nope, yeah, they will. Up the middle, and the Governors stuff it. There's Sam Larson. There is Lathan Rounds, a nose tackle, doing the job here. Short gain, and the Knights will have a choice to make here at the 41-yard line. It'll be 4th and 4 after a gain of just 1.
It looks like they're keeping their offense on the field unless this is also their punt unit. And so, being they are on that side of the field, they're going to test it early and see if they can continue this drive and wear the Governors out.
I imagine they feel like they have to have the advantage. They are the 11 AAA team. Play action. Throw on a slant. It's incomplete, and Hermanson led his man a little too far. The pass intended for Logan Mebius. The Governors will turn the Knights over on downs, and with no score, it's Pierre 0 and O'Gorman nothing. 5:28 to go in quarter number 1. Governors stiffened as they started to make early season or early game adjustments, I think, here on the defensive side.
Yeah, one of the things I'm, anxious to see is, their quarterback, like I said, running that RPO. They got their run game going. They had a little bit of screen game going, but I didn't see anything attacking deep down the field. So either that is something that Jason Popping is going to sit and kind of wait on and feel out, or it's something that maybe he feels he can't get, at least early in the game. So that'll be fun to watch as we continue.
Governors' second drive starts at their own 41-yard line. Good field position after stopping O'Gorman on downs, and a little play action rollout for Caleb Lounsbury. He hooks up with Jaron Deal. Once again, 1 or 7. I think that was Deal, and here he comes back now to the near side.
Yeah, the difference you're going to see as a fan is Jaron Deal's got 2 white socks with leg sleeves, and it looks like Shufflebind on 7's got 1 just on his right calf. So 1 and 7, they look pretty similar. That's going to be your only way to tell the difference.
All right, I think I saw the 1 that time from straight back as Pierre is in O'Gorman territory for the first time. And the next play is just a little 1-yard effort by Carter Merrill coming across the right side. 2nd and 9 at the 48. Parker Scheidt in on the stop.
But even the 1-yard gain here, staying on track, trying to stay ahead of the sticks. The last drive was good, and then all of a sudden, one play we get behind, we take a big loss. You're just kind of getting behind those sticks right away. So definitely important, positive plays every time, and then continue this drive.
4 wide set, both sides from the far hash mark, over the middle. Shufflebind breaks a tackle at the 30. 10-5, touchdown, Carter Shufflebind. He's back, and so are the Governors, and it's Pierre on the board first. From 48 yards out, Lounsbury to Shufflebind, 6-0 Governors.
Yeah, very good coverage there by the O'Gorman Knights, but he kind of went, stopped, went for the ball, and as he went for the ball, Shufflebind just held it in, held his ground to not get taken to the dirt, and when you're playing man coverage, there's nobody behind you, so we got to walk that one in.
Pass thrown absolutely perfectly as well. He hit Shufflebind in stride. Carter Templeton up for the PAT. This one is through and true. And the Pierre Governors strike first at McEnany on homecoming afternoon here at O'Gorman High. 7-0 Governors. They'll kick after a 30-second timeout when we come back with Pierre Governor football.
The Best Western Ramkota Hotel in Rapid City supports all South Dakota student athletes and their families. They are conveniently located off Interstate 90, close to downtown and minutes from the beautiful Black Hills. The Ramkota offers sports and family-friendly rates. Guests can relax for free in the indoor water park. They have 36,000 square feet of banquet and meeting space, and the award-winning Minerva's Restaurant and Bar is located on site. Best Western Ramkota welcomes everyone to beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota. Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
59 yards in a minute and 13 seconds. Caleb Lounsbury with a slant over the middle to Carter Shufflebine. Shufflebine caught the ball at the 30-yard line where he broke a tackle, and then he was free and loose the rest of the way. 48-yard touchdown pass from Lounsbury to Shufflebine. Carter Templeton's PAT makes it 7-0 with 4:15 to play. Welcome back to Sioux Falls. Brian Oakland, Sean Lewis on the call. So Pierre strikes first. That's exactly what they wanted. And you know what? If you're playing a AAA team, nothing like punching them in the mouth. And a fair catch was signaled for. And Braylon Treasure, yeah, that should be a penalty, I believe. But he didn't mean to. He probably thought he was returning a punt. But a short kickoff, so to speak, from Templeton. And O'Gorman's going to have bad field position starting at their own 17-yard line.
Yeah, kind of a brain fart there. I think if he'd have tucked it and ran it a little bit further, you maybe would have seen the official throw that flag. Because once you throw your hand up, you are done. That is a 4-year protection, not for some kind of trickery that you're able to do it and then move yourself down the field because the other side of the ball pulled up a little bit.
So Hermanson and company at the 17-yard line, and we've got a flag thrown before anything happens here by the referee, Derek Omi. And it's a penalty on the Knights, and I believe illegal substitution. Yeah, I was trying to think of what that signal was, and there you go. So our first flag on the field will mark the Knights back 5 yards, and they'll have it 1st and 15 at their own 12-yard line. Going back to those to that kickoff, or what would have been a kickoff, I think Braylon Treasure, well, he didn't get to run very far because he heard the whistles, and they blew that whistle, that play dead right away. Passing is Hermanson. He's got Mebius out near side, shy of the 20, and a good job in the open field, and the tackle here by Aiden Beam once again. Minimizing the damage on the play. Knights will get to the 19. That'll pick up 7, but once again they lost 5 to begin the sequence.
Yeah, playing a little bit softer zone coverage there. You saw Beam backpedal and just opened his hips to the wrong side. He thought he was going to hit on a post, ended up going to the out, and then, spun his hips back around, came back in, gave it up, but ultimately, making the tackle and keeping it in front of you.
Push pass here, the little pitch to Myers. And Isaac Myers turns the corner up outside the numbers, near side from the 20, met at the 25 and dropped by guys like Schoenhardt and Larson. 6 yards here, and we'll call that a pass.
Yeah, that's your Brett Favre pass, right? Yeah. Going to be a popping special that you're going to see, especially, and it's going to be a staple in their game. When they play AAA and they've got these big old lines and they're playing with a smaller, a little bit more athletic line, to be able to try and create an edge, get an edge, and just simply get numbers is huge. And so that'll be something you'll see along the way.
3rd and 2, they try Myers again out of the backfield in motion. Beam meets up with him right there and is dropped immediately, and it's a loss on the play. Aiden Beam comes up with 2 big stops. Hudson Schaefer actually getting the hard 5s on this one, and maybe he was the one that makes the stop with a loss of a yard this time. Back to the 24. It's 4th down and 3, and the Knights aren't going to go for it in this juncture, as Carter Shufflebine is back around his 40-yard line to our right.
Yeah, and it looks like there was some miscommunication on who was supposed to block and which where, because Coach Popping, as you saw right away, was immediately out on the field yelling at one of the guys who messed it up. But this kick, I think, kind of makes up for it.
That's a good one. Rylan Cody, who looked like he had to take a high snap that went to his right. He hauled it in. The Governors had 2 guys bearing down, but Cody gets rid of it and punts it all the way with a healthy bounce to the Pierre 24, from 124 to the other. That's good for 52 yards for Rylan Cody. The Governors lead 7-0. Their 3rd offensive possession is coming up. We've got 2:45 to play in our opening quarter, as the Governors have a 48-yard touchdown pass on the board from Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebine, as they continue to hook up and be one of the top combinations, at least in 11 AA. And they're doing good things so far against this AAA opponent as well. Carter Merrill's first attempt here will cross the 25, just a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 to the 26. And O'Gorman doing a good job defensively against the Governor rushing attack. In fact, I'll go 25-yard line here and just a single yard for Carter Merrill.
But even on that single yard, you saw the play kind of develop, and if we get to make one guy miss there, I mean, numbers were in our favor, so that formation is something I can guarantee Steele's going to come back to, and that we're going to hit that block, and that run is going to end up being big later on in the football game.
Lounsbury rolling right, and he's got his man Shufflebein again, this time out to the 40-yard line. The Governors will move the chains, and this Governor offense has come ready to play, Sean Lewis. 15 yards, first down Pierre.
Yeah, you're seeing them when they do play zone, kind of finding that opening and sit in it. And I think that was probably a huge stressor this week of, when you are going to see this team and they are going to play zone, we need to be able to sit in those. And when we find man coverage, we need to be able to just isolate, beat that guy, like you saw Shufflebein on the last scoring drive. Make the play, break the tackle, score the touchdown.
Started 2 for 5, but he's completed his last 3, and a 48-yard touchdown in there, too. That's Caleb Lounsbury to the ground on first down. Carter Merrill into the mix at the 40. He'll cross and dive to the 41, but that's, again, just another 1-yard gain. But even these 1-yard gains, well, that's enough. That's enough for the run to use the run to set up the pass and just keep the guys honest. And the passing game is coming to life here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it'll open up as long as you're staying on schedule, moving a little bit. I mean, O'Gorman's defensive line is doing a really good job. They're bringing at least 4, if not 5 guys every time, which is what you want to see to be able to open up your pass game on the edges.
Knights showed a bit of an appearance of a blitz on the far side, and there's a guy out there who still wants to bring the heat. Lounsbury back to pass. Oh, he's going to float a screen out. Dangerous pass. Merrill has it at the 40. He'll turn the corner, but only enough to get out of bounds after taking a hit. And it looks like the hit coming from Hunter Cox on this one. And they'll lose a yard back to the 40. So this time it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Good play call. Got exactly what you wanted out of that defensive forefront. That was rolling forward. Just touched it a little bit too much on the float. Need to get that in his hands and let him to be able to play ball a little bit faster rather than the pursuit that came with it.
An edge rusher who's just itching to blitz on that last play. I think the Governor saw it coming. Lounsbury is back deep. He slips out of a tackle, now rolls out to the right, throws it through the hands of Jaron Deal. Probably a good incompletion here as far as the Governors are concerned. That's Shufflebein out there. No, that is Jaron Deal. And Pierre, well, they had some promise on this 3rd possession, but will have to punt it away. But they still have a 7-0 advantage. We're in the final minutes of quarter number 1. 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, just got to check out those leg sleeves. Who's got 2? Who's got 1?
And again, the wind, Lounsbury, not quite in his favor. This is a line drive, and it's off the side of his foot. O'Gorman brought a furious bit of pressure here. 23 and 52. 23 is Carter Majerus, 52 Sam Donahoe. They got in there quick. Not the best effort that the Governors were hoping for, but at least they'll try to go defensive again as OG will have it at their own 45-yard line. And again, 35 seconds to go. 7-0 Governors, a 48-yard touchdown pass. If you're just joining us, of course, we had an early kickoff here, homecoming at O'Gorman High. They usually play about 6 o'clock starts here, but 5 o'clock on homecoming. Big crowd down in front of us. The Pierre crowd always well represented across the way. And a pass out on the flat through the hands of Hamrick. I think he maybe wanted to run upfield, but he heard Aiden Beam coming at him. And Gavin Hamrick misses
back to the Owyhee Federal Credit
Union. May have called that, as I said in pregame. Great runner. I didn't see a ton of hands with him out of the backfield. Now, not that they're not going to go to him, not that he can't haul in that pass, but I did see him struggle to really catch the ball and put his hands on it. So we were short a defender initially, Aiden Beebe coming off it, but we should have a linebacker a little closer in pursuit.
Far hash mark, moving left to right. Stepping up is Hermanson to avoid the rush. He's got a man wide open. It is Jack Stockland at the 25-yard line in Pierre territory. Porter Hunsley gets to him, but finally brings him down all the way at the Pierre 10-yard line. A big gain here. And Chase Hermanson did a good job stepping up in the pocket. He stayed very patient and made a nice pass to Jack Stockland, his big wide receiver. Big gain, and we're calling this one 45 yards all the way into the red zone against the Governors.
And when they say football's a game of inches, that's exactly what it is. He stepped up in that pocket as Lincoln Schoenhardt had a furious rush coming on. Just missed to the backside, and there's a big play versus a sack.
Knights snap the ball, and that actually came with 1 second left in the quarter. They hand off to Gavin Hamrick, and he slices and dices through traffic, finally diving across the goal line for a 10-yard touchdown. Oh, it's too bad that one didn't come a half a second too late. As far as the Govs are concerned, this is a touchdown, potentially game tying to close out the quarter. And Hamrick puts the Knights on the board for the first time.
That snap did come about right as the clock hit 0, and so they got it off. Maybe the Governors were sitting there hoping that we would get to the quarter and get a break, but Gorman said, nope, we want to score.
Cody with the PAT. That's good. So our first quarter comes to an end, and officially we have a 7-7 tie. Scoreboard brought to you by Gale's Gas Service in Pierre. Keep up with them as eventually we expect it to get a little chillier. You may need to work with Gale's Gas Service in Pierre. We pause for 60 seconds. Knights kick when we start the second quarter of play. Coming up, you're listening to Governor Football on your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Farming is more than a livelihood. It's a legacy. Simplot was founded by a hardworking farmer like you over 90 years ago, and we've been growing America's farms for generations. With local crop advisors grounded in your success, Simplot Grower Solutions is in your fields and by your side. We dig in deep to pinpoint what you need, where you need it, when you need it, even when the forecast is unpredictable.
With our new online loan application, you can go to our website and apply for a loan when it's most convenient for you. We make getting loan approval fast and easy. Our local lenders are available to assist you if you have any questions. We make it pain-free to get that loan you've been wanting. We're an equal housing lender. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Bounds, and the Governors will have decent field position as they will take it, presumably, up at the 35-yard line. Couple of right on the money highlight plays so far in this opening quarter. Rounds Financial Services highlight plays. Rounds Financial Services, where your money works for you. A 48-yard touchdown for the Governors from Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebind, putting them on the board at the 4:15 mark, but then a 45-yard not a touchdown, but a touchdown setting up. Long pass from Chase Hermanson to Jack Stockland. Gavin Hemrick ran it in from 10 yards out on the quarter's final play, and here we are at 10-0 as we begin our second quarter of play. Brian Oakland, Sean Lewis on site, with Caleb Brozick on camera, William Wilson back in our DRG Media Group and River 92.7 studios. Quick fire out to the far side, and a floater, a wounded duck by Lounsbury as it kind of slips out of his hand, but Shufflebind alertly comes to get it and catches it on the fly. He crosses the 40-yard line, picks up 6 to the 41. Shufflebind with a very alert play here on first down.
It's just the words I was going to say is when that thing started to float, rather than wait for the ball to come to him, he went to the ball knowing that other guys were going to pursue it, and the only way that we were going to make anything positive was just when he advanced towards it, did it, got himself a good 6 yards.
6 for 10 for Shufflebind, 95 yards unofficially. To this point, 2nd and 4 for the Governors. And again, as they move more in an east to west fashion, the pitch back goes to Merrill. Protects the football well as the defender tried to get a hand on it, maybe strip it through, but Merrill falls forward ahead of the 40 to the 43. And the Governors are still going to be in a third down situation. They've got a couple to go.
Yeah, you see O'Gorman only bringing 3 really right there and then letting their linebackers play and flow. With our 5 guys up front, you'd like to see just a bit more of a push, as that's a straight double-double the whole way.
Trips right for the Govs here on the near side. And again, they have the wind at their advantage. Wind is out of the southeast, and this is more of a southeast to a northwest facing or directionally traveling field. Cooper Terwilliger becomes a 4th receiver on the right side, but they pitch to Merrill. He's got the first down across the 45 to the 48, maybe the 49, right in the middle of the shield with the O'Gorman symbol in the middle of this one, and a good gain here for Merrill. His previous best was 6 yards. This one also 6 yards, first down Governors at the 49-yard line.
Very good. Moving to the outside, kind of seeing that little zone read or maybe even a stretch play, put his foot in the dirt, saw a cutback lane, and just absolutely hit it. Ultimately probably Carter Merrill's best asset, not necessarily straightforward running, but he can change that direction, put his foot in the dirt, and get a few after contact.
4 wide set. Great receive by Jaron Deal. The pass thrown a little bit behind him, up in the air. He spins, reaches back, glues it into the hands, and the Governors are into night territory inside the 35, now to the 31. Pick up 20 on this one. Really great effort by Jaron Deal.
And again, I'll go back to finding those zones. When you see O'Gorman slide into that, Lounsbury needs to be able to realize, and I think the receivers have done a fantastic job of, when they're not in man and they're glued to you got to find that zone, find that area. Don't care what your route is. You got to find the open spot to sit in it, wait for your quarterback to do his job, and then catch it and make a play.
Merrill again sidesteps pressure. He gets inside the 30. He got by one guy, but then that group of linebackers is still there waiting to converge, and just a few yards here to the 28. But again, 3 yards on first down, not a bad thing.
Yeah, you're playing a AAA team and you think they're going to be big. They're really not, but their team speed is impressive. With these guys, you can see they do move well. They orchestrate the scheme that they've got, and they fly to the football, whether that's right at the snap or even to rally to football to make the tackle.
Shannon Papaga wants a timeout. He'll take one for his defense. We've got 8:51 left to go in a 7-7 tie. We're in the second quarter. Timeouts are brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling and Pierre. Grab a Coke and be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
From Grossenberg Implement. Now's the perfect time to winterize your equipment, check your coolant levels, and make sure that block heater is ready to go. Grossenberg has bulk 50/50 coolant available for farm delivery or in-store pickup, plus storage solutions like 30 and 55-gallon drums, or even 60 to 180-gallon bulk tanks with stands. Keep your shop toasty with their efficient heaters, ranging from 18,000 up to 400,000 BTU. Don't be left out in the cold. Stop by Grossenberg Implement today. Service, parts, and solutions that are anything but scary.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Carter Merrill through the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, right through the left side of the offensive line. The hole opens up this time, and for the first time all game long, the Pierre running game has figured out the O'Gorman Knight defense, and strangely, right out of a timeout, Carter Merrill for 28 yards. The Governors lead 13-7.
Yeah, so set up there. The Governor offense is in double stack, meaning they got twins both sides. They put them in stack just to see what coverage they're in, and then they motion that guy. And as soon as they motion, you can see whether they're in zone and whether they're in man. And Carter Merrill just simply put his foot down, saw where the guy had moved out of, and he inserted himself on that side of the field. Just a great heads up, seeing where that lane was, and then getting it done.
Big rush by Aaron Stoll coming off the right end, but Carter Templeton's kick gets past him. It's up through the uprights and +1 for the Governors. Another big play, a right on the money highlight play brought to you by Rounds Financial Services in Pierre. The Governors take the lead back 14-7. They kick in 30 seconds. This is Pierre Governor Football.
Wagner Auto.
When you're thinking of a new or used car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV, think of us. We make all sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Gorman kick. Of course, O'Gorman had just scored to end the first period. Here goes 6 plays and 65 yards in just 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Carter Merrill with a 28-yard touchdown run And there was a pretty 20-yard pass from Lounsbury to Jaron Deal to help set that up and get the Governors into O'Gorman territory. 14-7. The Govs lead as Templeton will kick to the near side. Well-placed kick just inside the 10-yard line. Kick returner up the alley, up the numbers, and just across the 20-yard line. And this is Logan Mevius, starting wide receiver, doing kick return duty as well. See where they spot this one, and the Governors' defense back on the field. And O'Gorman will have it 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Yeah, what you're starting to see is, as a fan and just knowing both of these coaching staffs, this is a game of human chess. You got to put your pieces, you move, you got to see where they're going to go and react, and then ultimately you are playing chess with a human factor of 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. They got to make a play, and so so far what we've seen is both teams have been able to make some plays.
RPO string out to Jack Stocklin. He breaks tackles. He'll take a push, but a big gain as they go out of bounds. The push not until the 49-yard line, and that was just a simple man in motion and dump it off to him out on the right flat for Chase Hermanson. He hooks up with Stocklin, who had the 45-yarder a little bit ago. That was a straight pass. Deep. This one more of a pitch and catch and run. That'll get the Knights 23 yards up to their own 49-yard line.
Well, what really broke that is they had a guard pull, either that or a tackle pull. I didn't see which one he came from, but they had an extra lineman pull, and so they had a double team on the edge, which then actually sealed it off, not letting the linebacker get there. So it was up to the secondary to make a play to stop that as it opened up big.
Receivers focused to the right side. Here's Hermanson. He slips out of a tackle as the Governors brought pressure. Hermanson still running far side. He'll leap over a would-be tackler. He ends up out of bounds on the Governor's side of the field. And into Governor territory goes Chase Hermanson for 4, and this play comes to an end at the Pierre 47-yard line.
Ultimately turned that into a pretty good gain, but got flushed out of the pocket again. Governors were getting a rush. We're getting there, but unfortunately we haven't broken down to the point where we're staying back shoulder because he stepped up and then been able to just scoot out. And so we're pressuring, but we're ultimately pressuring a little much and a little deep to be able to convert on a sack.
And in motion out to the left side was Myers. He's still out open as a safety valve. No need for that, the Governors say. He is going down. That is Chase Myers, wrapped up by Devin Binger. Back to the 50, even the O'Gorman 49-yard line.
Devin Binger, what a name that we've started to really kind of call a lot in the last couple weeks. Just kind of finding his own, finding his element, solidifying himself on that defensive line, and just making plays. I mean, it's hand violence, it's wrestling in the trenches, and he was our heavyweight wrestler last year, so he kind of knows what to do.
Devin, a 240-pound junior, comes in as a backup role. Now 3rd and 10. Hermanson with time this time, but he'll go with the underneath route. There is nothing there. At best, a gain of 1, but they're spotting Logan Mebius at the 49. That's the line of scrimmage. Gain of 0, and the Governor defense does the job here. O'Gorman will have to punt from midfield. And there's one thing, Coach, with the Governors earlier bringing pressure, and now they're starting to get through. Keep in mind, this offensive line is anchored by a 185-pound center. Not a big interior line. They've got a couple of 250s and a 290 in there, but for the most part, the Governors are asserting their presence defensively. Here's Rylan Cody, and he found out, as Caleb Lounsbury did, kicking from west to east or northwest to southeast, a little more difficult with the breeze that we have. The reason it is so hot is because of these southerly, southeasterly breezes coming up from the Gulf. And right now, the Governors are in good position. Really got to like where they're at right now as they lead 14-7, 6:42 to go. Second quarter. And Pierre is back on the attack, coming with good field position at their own 30-yard line.
Up by a score here, wind at your back. You've really done a good job of starting to establish your run game. Now it's time to take a few shots and see where your coverage is and maybe take another big one and see if we can get O'Gorman's head down.
Lounsbury, handoff to Merrill. He counters, and again, O'Gorman's getting a guy or two in there from time to time, especially when the Governors are running, but Merrill is able to cut and move this one for a positive gain of 2 out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. 2nd down and 8. Merrill, of course, ran one in from 28 yards out on the Governor's previous possession. And that's what's got Pierre up 14-7 right now.
And even staying positive by 1, 1.5, 2, just kind of staying on schedule, not getting behind the sticks. That's a key to an offensive just to stay in rhythm.
Another pitch to the right side this time. Merrill runs right in to 2-3. Carter Majerus. He's been active on the defensive side of things, and there's nothing to get for the Governors this time, as Merrill only makes it back to the line of scrimmage. He might have even lost a half of a yard. Pierre will have it 3rd and 8.5 from the 32.
Yeah, kind of got himself, right to the line of scrimmage, right where everything is. What I'd be interested to see here is Steve Steele get upset, look at this formation, maybe hit a motion of a guy, see exactly what they're doing, and then figure out where to attack.
3rd and 8, rolling right, near side. Lounsbury fires, and this pass is broken up. He's looking for Shufflebein here on the near side. And who is that? There's a 19. There might have been a 5 in there. Parker Scheidt, good linebacker. 19 would have been Brady Majerus, but he might have been coming off the sideline. As it is, so Gorman does a nice job defensively this time. And that is the first incomplete pass in the last 7 attempted by Caleb Lounsbury. 5:24 left in the second quarter. 14-7 Governors, but Lounsbury will punt for the 3rd time today. First time with the wind. This one's got some distance, but O'Gorman can make a return.
Knee was down.
However, his knee touches the ground, and that is Gavin Hamrick. He went a little bit low to catch it, and a good job by the back judge to realize that knee was down when he catches the ball at the O'Gorman 32-yard line. From 132 to the other, that's 36 yards. A pretty good hang time nonetheless for Lounsbury. The Knights have it, 5:16 to play. They must have a Mexican theme for homecoming or something like that, because they keep playing that song. The Mariachis starting up. RPO. Hermanson dumps it off right side. Isaac Myers makes a nice move ahead of the 35 to the 40, brought down to the 41. And that is Max Bogenhagen coming away from the end of the play, so he's following the receivers well out of the backfield.
Maybe not what you want out of a defensive lineman, to be able to follow a receiver, but obviously somebody else didn't, and so Max heads up, goes and finds him. As for the most part, that was kind of set up just like a slide screen for the most part, getting that pressure and then floating it up over the top.
Myers for 9, and now Hermanson, like the Governors are so adept at doing, they catch him off guard and offside as Binger jumps on a freeze play. Clap of the hands, but the ball was not snapped. That's the first penalty of the night for the Governors. This one 5 yards to the negative. Not a big penalty, but it does give O'Gorman a first down. They had it 2nd and 1 otherwise. This will put it up to the 46-yard line. O'Gorman on the move. Governors in the backfield again, though. 2nd sack of the night, and Hermanson brought down, and it's Lathan Rounds down low, busted through the nose and got to him. Sack of the quarterback back to the 41-yard line, a loss of 5. Binger had one on the previous defensive set. Now it's 2nd down and 15.
And I think Lickett Schoenhardt was in there on that. May have been the one down around the waist or below. That was kind of, you didn't know whether he was going to be able to step out of that or he was going to get crushed by the next guy coming in.
Looking right, wants to throw long out to the far side. Good coverage, and this one comes away after hitting the ground. And, the receiver had good position on this one. Looks like maybe their tight end, Jace Muller, is their starting tight end. I don't know if he was the one on this attempt. As it is, it's an incomplete pass. Chase Hermanson has tried 11 passes today. He's completed 9 of them. Make it 10. They'll swing it out to Mebius, near side. Across the 45, met by Porter Hunsley, brought down at about the 48-yard line. 7 on this play, but still well short of a first down. And once again, the Knights will have to punt.
Yeah, I would probably, as a defensive guy, would want a hold on the edge with that, as their guy who swung around and was blocking Lincoln Schoenhardt was quite a bit, not just on the shoulders, but even on the back side of that. So Lincoln's just got to do a good job of, maybe selling that a little bit more, but also did a fantastic job of stringing that out. and just delaying it for people to get there.
4th down and 7, and we've got a timeout called by Steve Steele. I don't know if he saw the potential for a fake or something like that, but with 3:27 left in the second quarter and the Governors leading 14-7, they will try to make sure Gorman punts after this 30-second step-aside. Timeouts in our broadcast brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. Go get a Coke and be back in 30 seconds. We've got a good one here. Homecoming night in Sioux Falls. This is
sense of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Here. And maybe Steve Steele's just trying to preserve a little bit of time. Rylan Cody with a big boot this time, and Schuffelbein will let it go. Inside the 20-yard line, it takes a bounce to the near sideline and will trickle out at the 19. A pretty good punt here. And the Governors will have a long field, but plenty of time, 3:18 to go, as they try to close out the first quarter, the first half in style, leading 14-7. Ryan Oakland, Sean Lewis with the call. Talked to Coach Steve Steele about homecoming, and some coaches, well, a lot of coaches have mixed feelings, usually negative, about homecoming when it's your homecoming, but I always feel like there's nothing better than coming in and spoiling homecoming night. Of course, the Govs have a lot of work to do, but it would be nice if they can convert on this drive and maybe go up 2 scores. We'll find out. Trips left on the first play. Carter Merrill with a pitch. He starts left, cuts back up the middle of the field, and then runs into a wall of blue jerseys. But then from behind, Merrill gets another push by one of his, by Cooper Terwilliger of all people. And that'll help Carter Merrill across the 25 to the 27. That's 8 yards on first down. Merrill had about 5 of those himself, and then Terwilliger with the assist for a few more.
Yeah, it's a very, very important drive as far as I think the football game is concerned. First and foremost to possibly try and come down here and get another score, but also clock management to come down. The last thing you want to do is give the ball back to Gorman. So to be able to get it here, just get it out of your own red zone.
Schuffelbein at the 50, play. And a big one right here, 40, 30. He's got one man to beat, 10, 5, touchdown. Another big play, a Rounds Financial Services highlight play. Rounds Financial Services, where your money works for you. This is a big one of 73 yards. Had to cut you off there, Coach.
I cut myself off.
That is Lounsbury to Schuffelbein. Well, and I was going to add to your point, too. Hey, the Knights get the ball to start the second half as well, so it would be nice to have a 2-touchdown lead going to the break. Right now, the Governors lead 20-7. The second long hookup from Lounsbury to Schuffelbein tonight, and I think their 4th big one of the season. They had a big one last week as well.
Yeah, I'm sitting here talking about possessional football, and Steve Steele's like, no, just watch us score. Like, I'm going to throw a big one down. I don't care about clock management. I just want more points on the board. That's how you win the game, and that's probably why he's won a few championships.
The Governors will settle for 6 here. Oh, yeah, I mentioned Aaron Stoley coming around the edge. Almost got the last one blocked. This time he does get the PAT blocked, so the Governors will lead 20-7. 30-second step aside. They kick when we come back. Governor football on a good one so far. This is River 92.7.
At Ringneck Energy, their mission is to produce renewable energy that adds value to grain and livestock production, enhances the income of their investor partners, and provide a safe, rewarding work environment. Located at 901 Redwood Avenue in Oneida, South Dakota. Call 605-945-6900 or check ringneckenergy.com. A proud supporter of local schools and wishes all students the best of luck in all their activities during the school year, creating economic opportunities in our community.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
And that one was 48 yards out. This time, 73 yards. A 2-play scoring drive. Quick strike for the Govs. It only takes 51 seconds, covering 81 yards overall. Carter Merrill for 8 yards on first down. Second down and 2. The Governors had the luxury of putting the ball in the air, and they get that quick strike 73 yards. Again, the kick was blocked, so Pierre leads 20-7 this time. And Carter Templeton with a squibber that bounces over the head of one of the up men, taken at about the 25, coming near side. And once again, Isaac Myers handling the ball. He's caught 4 passes tonight. Now he's got a kickoff return as well. Good field position here for the Knights, but the Governors with some momentum, to say the least. And I would say, Coach Lewis, quite a bit of confidence here in this first half.
Yeah, confidence is key, especially now being up by, 2 possessions. The big thing here is just not let them score, go up by 2 into the half, and, don't let them double up as the Governors did against Yankton last week to be able to pull that thing back.
Hermanson over the middle is picked off by Will Eilers. 40, 30, far side. He's got a big one coming. 20 to the 10. He's pushed out of bounds, maybe just shy or right at the 10-yard line. It was an RPO. They faked the handoff. Going in motion was Isaac Myers. Hermanson throwing right over the middle, but he did not see Will Eilers, the linebacker, right in the way. And the Governors make their first big defensive play of the night. Another Rounds Financial Services highlight play. As Eilers returns all the way to the 10-yard line, the Governors have it 1st and goal to go.
So fun to see a linebacker slide out in that slant window. Just stay disciplined, even though, they faked the run. To slide out into it, and you don't know you're going to end up in the right spot, but there you are, and way to make a play.
So plenty of time left. Once again, 2:11. The Governors certainly not satisfied with a 2-score lead going into halftime. They've got a man in motion, but here's a play that doesn't happen. And this penalty probably going against the Governors. 1st and goal from the 10, and you make it a little bit tougher, even with a false start penalty. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 15.
I did not see who that false start was on, but maybe a little bit more room to work with here. 1st and 15 versus 1st and 10 sets up your passing game, widens things up a little bit, so you don't have to just stay and isolate into the run.
They had Shufflebein going in motion, and as he's coming across, he might have even flinched just a little bit to go upfield, and then he continued in his motion across the lateral portion of the field. But again, 1st and goal from the 15. Watch Terwilliger off of the right tight end spot. Down low and through the hands of Shufflebein inside the 5-yard line, rather Jaron Deal. Gorman there in coverage, and an incomplete pass does stop the clock. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 15.
Yeah, nice play, good setup, and just a hard one to do, especially on the run when you're rolling. Everybody, student body stayed right. And to be able to make that throw and catch, that's a pretty good one. They almost connected on it for a big gain.
Big first half for Shufflebein if you got him on your fantasy team. 4 catches, 142 yards, 2 big scores. The Governors leading 20-7. Looking for more. 2:06 to go in the 2nd quarter. Lounsbury's in the pistol. Carter Merrill behind him. They'll stay on the ground. Merrill trying to do some dirty work. Bounces out to the right side, back to the 10-yard line, and brought down at the 8. Lincoln Dill just coming in, trying to spring one more block, but just a little bit late. Still a good gain to help the Governors inside the 10. And the scoreboard says it's at the 9, so we'll give him 6. 3rd and goal for the Govs.
And he is running hard. You saw him trying to get one, kind of ran into both Gorman Knight and his own teammate there on that one, trying to get it as much as he could.
Governors are bleeding the clock. They're not showing any intention of lining up here. They're probably going to call their 2nd Coca-Cola timeout here. Running that clock down to 1:20. The back judge is counting seconds down now. So there's the whistle and a Pierre timeout with 1:17 to play. 20-7. Governors leading the 11 AAA, albeit a small enrollment, petitioning up for the O'Gorman Knights. Trying to exact a little revenge after losing at home to these Knights a year ago. 30 seconds and a Coca-Cola break in the action. We're back with more Pierre Governor football.
Hi.
Ready to gain an edge in your career? Tide Machinery's Service Technician Apprenticeship Program is designed for anyone wishing to become a diesel mechanic working on Case IH equipment through full-time, on-the-job training. Enjoy a hands-on work experience, learn from factory-trained service experts, and apply your knowledge from school directly to your work with this unique program opportunity. Become a titan in the industry and grow with a dealership that invests in you at Tide Machinery, Highmore, Miller, and Pierre, your local Case IH dealer. Visit TitanMachinery.com/careers to learn more.
Do you Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Still wants 6 no matter what here. You've got to almost drive that nail, that first nail in the coffin if you can, even though we've got a long way to go in this one. Lounsbury with a low snap, rolls left, throws back up the middle, and this pass is broken up on a great diving play at the goal line by Logan Mebius. Lounsbury looking for Lincoln Dilgis. I think that play was set up well, but Logan Mebius just makes a great play.
Yeah, he flew back in. Maybe the pass led him a little far when he needed to cut and kind of turn back with the roll. And here is your answer. Looks like we're going for a field goal, but if we are, definitely got to take care of that left edge rush.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll watch Stoll coming around, but this one would be about a 26-yard field goal. Templeton's kick is up, and it is good for 3 with 1:10 to go. The Governors up their lead to 16. It's 23-7. 70 seconds to play here in the first half. The Governors take an interception and turn it into 3 points to add to their first half lead. Let's pause for 30 seconds. Pierre kicks when we come back with more Pierre Governor football.
Xander Auto Parts, the only local auto parts store in the Pierre-Fort Pierre area, has been serving Central South Dakota for over 40 years.
Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Interception, and about a 35-yard interception return. All the way down to the O'Gorman 10. You're leading 23-7. I'll tell you what, I imagine there's a lot of folks around the state who are starting to raise their eyebrows again. And even though Pierre's had some stumbles, O'Gorman has had some stumbles. It's not your typical O'Gorman team, but it's still a team that's capable of beating some great teams in 11 AAA. Carter Templeton had the ball fall off the tee with the wind blown, and he still went up and kicked it.
Well, I think he had to, because there was no whistle quite yet, and the ball was on the ground. So his assumption is, hey, I've got to play until there's a whistle to blow this dead. I mean,
don't want to delay a game.
Yeah, he plays a lot of soccer too, so I'm not sure if he knows. He's just got to go. He doesn't care if it's on the ground or on a tee.
Ball is back on the tee. The Governors kicking from left to right. Again, 23-7. Coming up at halftime, we'll give you the full tally of the schedule of games that are all later kickoffs, normal kickoffs at 7 o'clock. Mebius takes the Templeton kick, but his backward momentum takes him into the end zone, so Gorman will have a touchback and start at their own 20-yard line with a full 1:10 to play. Gorman has one big play in this game, a 45-yard pass that set up their only score of the game, which was a 10-yard touchdown run by Gavin Hamrick, but the 45-yarder from Chase Hermanson to Jack Stockland. They also had a 23-yarder on a catch and run by Stockland. Here's a draw play that goes to Hamrick. They'll stay on the ground from the 20 to about the 24, it looks like. Governors will certainly allow that, as they just don't want to give up the big play to allow O'Gorman a scoring opportunity. And as we mentioned a moment ago, keep in mind O'Gorman does get the first possession of the second half. Man in motion coming out of the slot to the near side. There's Myers. They'll deliver to him. And again, an open field tackle here by the Governors. Logan Whitty doing the job. And they keep him in bounds again. 25 to the 26, a pickup of 2. Myers catching his 4th pass of the evening.
And this is where I think you're seeing field position kind of play itself a role here. Is, that big pass came in the first when O'Gorman was going with the wind. Now they're going against the wind, and I just don't know if we got a strong arm. We're seeing, maybe just a throw and catch rather than being able to try and hit it up over the top type of deal.
They dump it off to Myers again, and the safety, Sutton Sonnenschein, comes up and drops him for, at best, a gain of a half of a yard here, and O'Gorman is getting nothing out of this drive that they were hoping for. And the Governors are going to call their third and final timeout with 13 seconds left. That'll at least force O'Gorman to punt. And I think O'Gorman, after being intercepted on that previous possession, Coach Poppinga just a little gun-shy, and maybe feeling his quarterback was a little gun-shy. They stayed with the high percentage passes, throwing in the backfield, trying to get their receivers sprung, but it just didn't work. The Governors are starting to figure things out, and on this possession, they tackled perfectly.
Yeah, just keep it in front of you. Like I said, you knew that they were going to play that run and catch with the way that this wind is whipping. It's very tough for a quarterback to throw the ball straight into that. And, you're just seeing a capitalization of this whole field position and kind of a conglomeration of errors that O'Gorman has had. So it's really nice to see Pierre, not just sit and settle, but to be able to really start to hammer down and take this to him.
So now it's 4th and 3, maybe 4. This is a Coca-Cola timeout as we keep it here. Coca-Cola bottling of Pierre. What a perfect day for an ice cold Coke. 90 degrees at game time. It's still going to be in the upper 80s probably for a while. That's what you get with 5 o'clock rush hour traffic kickoffs. So we'll see what kind of a punt Rylan Cody can get. It's a bit of a high floating snap. He'll step into it, and it bounces at the 50-yard line. It'll take a healthy bounce. Seconds are ticking away here, 3-2. And, well, the officials let him take all 13 seconds off. I thought Pierre could have had 2 or 3 seconds left there, but I would have liked to have seen the Governors maybe throw a long one to get something more going. But a great first half is in the books for the Pierre Governors. On the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, it's Pierre 23 and the hometown O'Gorman Knights 7. Scoreboard brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. We'll pause for 3 minutes and head to halftime. Halftime comes in our broadcast, a courtesy of Wealth Partners, Ameriprise Financial. Find them on the Capitol Creek Center Plaza on East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. 3 minutes, and we're back to recap a 23-7 Governor lead. Your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
You're walking so much better. What did you do?
Well, I got so tired of the pain and nearly fell. And one of my friends recommended physical therapy at Winter Physical Therapy. And you know what? My back also stopped hurting.
Huh. So how did you get started?
My doctor wrote me a referral, but that's not always needed. Turns out you always have a choice where you want to go.
So why did you choose Winter Physical Therapy?
I love to support our locally owned small businesses, and quite frankly, they give great personalized care.
Winter Physical Therapy. Exceptional care.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Most people don't think about their furnace until it's not working, but we do. At Pite Service Experts, we are trained to see what others miss. Airflow restrictions, pressure imbalances, heat exchanger flaws. That's how we catch little issues before they become cold nights and costly repairs. Because keeping your home warm takes more than just a toolbox. Our certified technicians will get your system running at peak condition. Call Pite Service Experts for our special $99 precision tune-up today. Call 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
The Corner Station Convenience Store and the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierre, South Dakota. At the Corner Station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The Corner Station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the Corner Station and the Crossing.
For over 70 years, Pitt's Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitt's Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
DRG Media Group Sports is the official voice of the Pierre Governors.
Our hash mark over the middle and wide open at the 30-yard line. Carter shuffle by and touchdown. Here's Olsen, plenty of time, 3 seconds, gets to shoot, and it's good for 3.
From football, volleyball, and soccer to basketball, wrestling, and softball, follow the Pierre Governors on the official voice of the Govs, River 92.7, and also on the River 92.7 page of the DRG News smartphone app and drgnews.com.
Welcome to Bowie Foods at Al's Oasis Plaza. My great-grandfather, Gus Bowie, opened the first store in 1905. I'm R.F. Bowie, the president of Bowie Foods. We aren't your typical store. You'll find everything you need for your family. You'll save money, and I promise you're going to enjoy your grocery shopping experience. We carry a lot of locally produced products and some things you just aren't going to find anywhere else. South Dakota-owned, family-owned, Bowie Foods.
Briggs Trucking and Construction in Fort Pierre provides quality freight transportation services, cargo hauling, excavation, and demolition services. They also specialize in dirt and gravel work for everything from commercial work to new construction. Briggs Trucking and Construction will haul everything from light poles to farm and agricultural supplies. The bigger the job or the bigger the load, the better, as that is where their expertise really shines. Contact Briggs Trucking and Construction at 605-280-2848 or email them at cbriggs25@pi.midco.net to visit about your next project.
Graham Tire of Pierre is your premier hometown shop, specializing in tires to fit vehicles, from ATVs to large farm equipment and everything in between. At your tire store next door, you can find a plethora of brand name tires that range from 4 to 10 ply and much more. Our highly skilled technicians can handle brakes, heating, and air conditioning. Call us today at 224-8643 or visit us at grahamtire.com. Graham Tire is a proud sponsor of Pierre and surrounding communities' local activities.
Buying or selling a home is a big decision. You need an expert who knows the market and gets results. Scott Darnall at Lee Real Estate in Pierre brings experience, local knowledge, and a no-nonsense approach to help you navigate every step. Whether you're looking for the perfect home or the best offer, Scott is committed to making the process smooth and stress-free. Ready to make your next move? Call Scott Darnall at 605-220-2676. Lee Real Estate, Meredith Lee, broker, owner.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
Olson Plumbing in Pierre provides complete plumbing and drain cleaning services to commercial and residential customers. Olson Plumbing understands how the simple things in life are often the things we can't live without, and running water is the top of the list. Olson Plumbing offers 24/7 emergency services, and they can be at your location in under an hour in most cases. If you need help with your plumbing system, call Olson Plumbing 605-224-6436.
In a world that's always moving, your journey matters. And at Iverson Auto Group, we're here to get you on the road with a great selection of new and used vehicles and trailers, and keep you on the road with top-notch service, maintenance, and support. Every mile of your journey, the experienced team at Iverson Auto in Mitchell and Huron are here to help. Visit us in Mitchell and Huron or start your search at iversonauto.com to begin your journey today.
At Jan Bussey Ford & Highmore, they've been building partnerships for life by treating customers right, offering a low-pressure sales process, no haggling over price, passing low overhead savings on, and providing a Ford-certified service department fixing it right the very first time. If you're looking for a new Ford, a quality pre-owned vehicle, a new or used ATV, or a trailer, stop by Jan Bussey Ford & Highmore and experience the difference.
Jan Bussey Ford, building partnerships for life.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Generational success means different things to different people. But to us, it means seeing my daughter follow in my footsteps, keeping the farm in the family, just getting to do this every day. We're Agtegra Cooperative, and we're generationally successful. That's who we are. Agtegra Cooperative.
Hey Josie, why so glum, chum? I can't find a way to get my whole group to one spot without taking all these cars. You haven't heard of Denwall Transportation? They have luxury seating buses with air conditioning, outlets to charge your phone, and other must-haves for traveling. Whoa, no way! Yeah, you should check them out. Where can I find them? You can follow them on Facebook or denwalltransportation.com, or hey, let's give them a call at 605-532-3836. Denwall Transportation, let us do the driving.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Allied Plumbing and Heating is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
John Hoffman Electric is your neighborhood electrical service contractor, and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies, such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
Each day brings the opportunity to make a difference, to follow through with integrity, to solve challenges through innovative thinking, and to bring the technical know-how needed to get the job done. At Wilbur Ellis, this is how we work, standing side by side as local experts who partner with the stewards of the land. We do it together. That's the power of we.
Protect what matters most with the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, American Family Insurance. Our personalized insurance solutions ensure you're covered, no matter what life throws your way. From home and auto to farm, commercial, and life, we tailor policies to fit your unique needs. With our dedicated team and exceptional service, you'll have peace of mind knowing you're in good hands. Contact the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, LLC.
Best of luck in today's competition to the Pierre Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy, your local agronomy experts. Black Sheep Agronomy wants you to have a successful farm plan, and they're focused on products and practices that work in this region. As community members themselves, Tyler, Tice, and Austin support area students who work hard in their school and extracurricular activities. Good luck, Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy. Call 842-6104 for all your agronomy needs.
Stay in a beautiful Black Hills vacation home, the Summit on Dancing Sky near Leeds, South Dakota, in the popular Powder House Pass development. It's a modern rustic design with over 5,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, and 5 baths for you to enjoy. You'll get gorgeous views of the Terry Peak Mountain Range. There's a community pool to enjoy, and you're close to all the attractions like Deadwood, Sturgis, Spearfish, and a whole lot more. The Summit on Dancing Sky. Visit them at dancingsky.com.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
At Dakota Behavioral Health, we offer comprehensive mental health services, including medication management. With offices in Pierre and Winter, we provide in-person and telehealth appointments to fit your schedule. Whether you're managing anxiety, depression, stress, or other concerns, our compassionate team is here to help. We are currently accepting new clients, so take the first step toward better mental health today. Call Dakota Behavioral Health at 605-702-6769 or visit dakotabh.com to schedule your appointment.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Explore the 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a re-carpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start-stop technology. You'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierre, South Dakota.
Futures aren't made by accident. They're dreamt, they're planned, they're discovered. At Northern State University, futures are the result of hard work and grit. NSU is an academic powerhouse with a spirit of exploration and genuine support, where professors know your name and push you to discover what you're truly capable of. But don't take our word for it. When you experience Northern, you'll see the difference here.
The best Western Ramkota Hotel in Rapid City supports all South Dakota student athletes and their families. They are conveniently located off Interstate 90, close to downtown and minutes from the beautiful Black Hills. The Ramkota offers sports and family-friendly rates. Guests can relax for free in the indoor water park. They have 36,000 square feet of banquet and meeting space, and the award-winning Minerva's Restaurant and Bar is located on site. Best Western Ramkota welcomes everyone to beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota.
Farming is more than a livelihood. It's a legacy. Simplot was founded by a hardworking farmer like you over 90 years ago, and we've been growing America's farms for generations. With local crop advisors grounded in your success, Simplot Grower Solutions is in your fields and by your side. We dig in deep to pinpoint what you need, where you need it, when you need it, even when the forecast is unpredictable.
With our new online loan application, you can go to our website and apply for a loan when it's most convenient for you. We make getting loan approval fast and easy. Our local lenders are available to assist you if you have any questions. We make it pain-free to get that loan you've been wanting. We're an equal housing lender. Oahe Federal Credit Union, your hometown credit union since 1955. Federally insured by NCUA.
Happy Halloween from Grossenberg Implements. Now's the perfect time to winterize your equipment, check your coolant levels, and make sure that block heater is ready to go. Grossenberg has bulk 50/50 coolant available for farm delivery or in-store pickup, plus storage solutions like 30 and 55-gallon drums, or even 60 to 180-gallon bulk tanks with stands. Keep your shop toasty with their efficient heaters, ranging from 18,000 up to 400,000 BTU. Don't be left out in the cold. Stop by Grossenberg Implement today. Service, parts, and solutions that are anything but scary.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
When you're thinking of a new or used car, motorcycle, pickup, or RV, think of us. We make all sorts of vehicle loans. We can set you up with payments that fit your budget. So if you have getting some new wheels in mind, stop by and see us. We'll get you the right loan. Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. We're big on you.
We're small enough to know your name, but we're big on you.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
At Ringneck Energy, their mission is to produce renewable energy that adds value to grain and livestock production, enhances the income of their investor partners, and provide a safe, rewarding work environment. Located at 901 Redwood Avenue in Oneida, South Dakota. Call 605-945-6900 or check ringneckenergy.com. A proud supporter of local schools and wishes all students the best of luck in all their activities during the school year, creating economic opportunities in our community.
Ready to gain an edge in your career?
Titan Machinery's Service Technician Apprenticeship Program is designed for anyone wishing to become a diesel mechanic working on Case IH equipment through full-time, on-the-job training. Enjoy hands-on work experience, learn from factory-trained service experts, and apply your knowledge from school directly to your work with this unique program opportunity. Become a Titan in the industry and grow with a dealership that invests in you at Titan Machinery, Highmore, Miller, and Pierre, your local Case IH dealer. Visit titanmachinery.com/careers to learn more.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Wow, Bill, you're walking so much better. What did you do?
Well, I got so tired of the pain and nearly fell. And one of my friends recommended physical therapy at Winter Physical Therapy. And you know what? My back also stopped hurting.
Huh. So how did you get started?
My doctor wrote me a referral, but that's not always needed. Turns out you always have a choice where you want to go.
So why did you choose Winter Physical Therapy?
I love to support our locally owned small businesses, and quite frankly, they give great personalized care.
Winter Physical Therapy. Exceptional care.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Swing passes out of the backfield and out of motion, but I think Pierre's seen enough that they figured a lot of that out. So we'll see how it goes into that second half as well. And as we're getting fed here, man, I love the hospitality. Thank you, Rick, as we get a little bit of a slice of pizza, a little slice of homecoming hometown hospitality. By the way, we always love to thank our visiting teams or the home teams when we go on the road. One of the great ones, the head coach Steve Keeter, the great 33-year career that he had coaching these Gorman Knights, still the athletic director here. Comtech opening kick is up in the air from Carter Templeton, left to right as we begin our second half of play. Logan Mebius up the alleyway. He bounces outside near side sideline, across the 30 to the 45. The Governors thought they had him wrapped up. Suddenly Mebius disappears back to his own sideline, right out in front of us, and he'll advance all the way out to the 48-yard line. So just like that, Gorman, if they need a shot in the arm, well, I think they just got one with about a 45 or so yard kickoff return. So here come the Knights, trailing 23-7. What do you suppose the Poppingas did say, or Jason in particular, in that halftime break?
I'm going to guess they shored up their blocking scheme and just kind of pointed out exactly where they wanted to attack. But then, you see this drop pass that ultimately was right there on an open guy. You have to just make the play. And so my guess is, know both these coaching staffs really, really well. Like, both these teams are phenomenally coached, and ultimately it comes down to the kids are the ones that have to make the plays. And so I think they just reiterated that to them, that they can dig out of this. It's only 2 possessions, and that their team is probably more than capable.
Incomplete pass on a little short route. Hermanson has it again, 2nd and 10. Now they look over the middle. Oh, what a catch! There's contact, and here's what happened at the 35-yard line of the Governors. There was contact, and basically the tight end ran right into a Governor defender. But, Coach, do you think he pushed off? It is on the defense, so the Governor's basically just in the way, and the tight end able to make the catch. I assume that was Jace Muller once again. But after the contact, he kept going and then dives and makes a great grab at the Governor 33-yard line. So a pickup of 19 yards. But as O'Gorman had been a little bit maybe one-dimensional, at least in the passing game, now they get a big one here. This is a little bit of a backward lateral as Hamrick has it, and now O'Gorman with a little bit of a downhill motion inside the 30, 25, close to the 20. Actually, they'll spot him at the 22. That's 11 more, and just like that, O'Gorman looks like a little bit different ball club here, Coach.
Yeah, you're seeing him, complete a pass and then hold on, that pizza just got me.
Got to you as the Knights are knocking on the door of the red zone. Here come the Governors, another kick out, and this one, hey, Governors, get on that ball. Nope, well, this one is ruled a forward pass. Steve Steele is right on line with that one. Now the last pass was right out in front of us, and we could see it was more of a backward lateral, but this one I thought might have been the same, but Iden Myers had to reach behind himself, and he knocks it down. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 22-yard line. I'll wait for cold pizza later on.
Don't eat it. It'll get you. I think they're sabotaging us, even though their hospitality is fantastic for bringing us a slice.
Near hash mark. Fake pass, fake the handoff again out to the far side, and the Governors will run the guy out of bounds. Aiden Beam doing the job, but another 1st down gainer here. And this is Braylon Treasure with his 2nd catch of the evening. Move those chains to the 10-yard line, 12 yards on this play. And it's just better blocking, perhaps, among other things, for the O'Gorman Knights on this opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, first thing I told you, I probably pointed out with Popping, is he's going to go inside and he's going to fix those blocking schemes. And, ultimately I think we were caught there without an outside linebacker to be able to do the thing. And then you think of that pass interference, defensively, oh man, that's one I'm probably almost to the numbers with Steele holding me back is we had called for that, but their guy runs our guy over, and it's just such a frustrating one, but I really can't argue with the call, but I would have as a defensive coordinator anyway.
Pass to the corner, and that's overthrown. Jace Muller, the intended receiver, so it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line. See if the Governors can stiffen up here. 10:51 to go, 3rd quarter, 23-7, Pierre on top. Now back to the right side, and a little screen pass taken inside the 5-yard line, and a bounce off and into the end zone. Rolls number, I believe it's 26 this time. Nope, it's not 26. That is Gavin Hamrick, 24 after all, out of the backfield. Hamrick good from 10 yards out, and O'Gorman is into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight. Quick strike. It only takes him 1 minute and 16 seconds after the start of the second half. As Hermanson hits Hamrick from 10 yards out. Hamrick's 2nd touchdown. He has one on the ground as well.
And going for 2.
Isaac Myers, taking the snap. He fakes the handoff, and he tries to get in there, but the Governors will wrap him up, and a good job, I believe, by Max Bogenhagen. So O'Gorman will settle for 6 this time. 23-13. Let's step away for 30 seconds. The Knights will kick when we come back. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
At Avera Orthopedics, we're transforming pain.
Most people don't think about their furnace until it's not working, but we do. At Pite Service Experts, we are trained to see what others miss. Airflow restrictions, pressure imbalances, heat exchanger flaws. That's how we catch little issues before they become cold nights and costly repairs. Because keeping your home warm takes more than just a toolbox. Our certified technicians will get your system running at peak condition. Call Pite Service Experts for our special $99 precision tune-up today. Call 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
The corner station back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Downs along the way after a nice return by Logan Mebius out to the 48-yard line. The Knights go 52 yards in 7 plays, but only in 1 minute and 16 seconds. Chase Hermanson to Gavin Hamrick from 10 yards out on a screen pass for 6, with the 2-point conversion run attempt failed, and it's 23-13. Governors lead. And an up man for the Governors takes it at the 25-yard line, but all east and west rather than north and south, and that's on a football field term. The return by George Rapp actually goes the wrong direction for 2 yards, but Pierre will have it 1st and 10, and their first possession of the second half.
Ultimately not the first defensive possession that you wanted to have, giving up a big play and then ultimately giving up that score, bringing it back to a 2-possession game, but you gotta offensively just build upon what you did in the first half and see if you can march this one down the field, take off a bunch of time, and stick one in the end zone.
Got some coaches on that O'Gorman side that are pretty good defensive minds. We'll see if they can dial up some adjustments themselves, but Pierre has it on the far hash mark. Caleb Lounsbury with one receiver wide left, two receivers to the right. Of course, Carter Merrill in the backfield. They'll hand it off to him. Look at this surge by the Governors, pushing Merrill and helping him out across the 25 to about the 30, if not the 31. That'd be 8 yards on. That's exactly what you want. Even just a little 8-yard play, good enough to kind of make a statement here to begin the second half.
Yeah, you saw Gorman kind of coming with a 5 to 6 man rush there. And, you know, sometimes you say as a D coordinator, pressure beats coverage. They were getting beat earlier on coverages, so hey, let's bring a bunch of pressure. Well, as soon as Carter Merrill makes one guy miss, all that pressure is now behind him, and that turns into a big gain.
8 yards here for Merrill. I've got him at 70 yards on 15 carries now. It's Lounsbury on 2nd and 2, rolling out. He'll go short to Terwilliger, who makes the catch at the 30-yard line, then pays for it. As it is Hamrick there, but also Parker Scheidt. First catch of the game for Cooper Terwilliger, but this one actually going to be minus a yard back to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, there just wasn't much else to go with to the ball, and you know he was open, but as we talked about, that pursuit of that Gorman defense, they're there and they're there quick.
By the way, unofficially, I had the Governors outgaining the Knights 250 to 140 in that first half. They led 23-7. Knights have struck for 6 to start the second half here. We're at the 9:20 mark now, and the Governors bleeding some clock here on 3rd down and 3. First possession for Pierre in the second half. Handed off straight ahead to Merrill, and there are the Knights in the backfield, and Parker Scheidt makes another big play. He was helped out by 52, Sam Donahoe. We called his name a couple of times. This one nets the Governors a loss of 2 back to the 28. Well, Pierre was winning the battle of the line of scrimmage much of that first half of play, but this time they lose 2, and I think the Governors just tried to muscle things up, and maybe they are a little surprised here.
Yeah, I don't know. That play didn't have anything from the get-go. The O'Gorman defensive line was through there, and it just seemed like there was not much of a chance or a hole or anything from the get-go.
Lounsbury's kick is a line drive. It bounces at the Knights' 42-yard line, and it'll take a 10-yard, 12-yard roll to about the 29, where it is down, but there was a flag thrown away from the play over here on the near side. And it looks like maybe a bench warning for O'Gorman, as this near side official is pushing everybody back. So a punt by Lounsbury, and the Knights will take over at the 29-yard line. And some quick math here. About 38 yards on the punt by Lounsbury. He's had some bigger punts. In fact, he had one 54 yards or so last week in Yankton. But a big opportunity for the Knights to keep the foot on the pedal themselves. As they've scored once, now play action, they're going over the top. Mebius had a step, but this pass is underthrown, and it's intercepted by the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, good pass. You know, just too much, double covered down the field as you had a guy running and rolling, and ultimately it was, gosh, there was a hold down the blitzer coming up the middle too that I was kind of thinking, that should be called, but then when you get a good result on the end, don't worry about that other flag.
Stockland kept wrestling for the football on the ground, but I didn't see who had the coverage. I saw Porter Hunsley, maybe the last one coming away from the pile. As it is, the second turnover for the O'Gorman Knights. Of course, the second one taken away by the Pierre Governors, and now Pierre has it. 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. So Gorman tried to go for the downs after inducing the punt, trying to keep the momentum going. Pierre instead gets a pitch out. Carter Merrill slips a tackle up ahead of the 35 to the 40, far side on the edge, and that's a good gain of 8 yards again. That's how they started their last possession, but they couldn't get any more from there. In fact, the Governors kept going in the wrong direction thanks to a stiff defensive push by that Knight defensive front, and the linebackers in particular.
Awesome defensive possession to hopefully switch this momentum, you know, get our offense here just a little confidence, get them back out there to be able to figure out the last possession and move this ball down the field.
Merrill again on 2nd and 2, staying on the short side of the field, which is the far side. He'll cross the 40. He'll cross the 42, which was the line to gain. Gain to the 44, pick up 4, and the Governors will move the chains here. And I think in this case, exactly what the doctor ordered for the Governors. It's time for them to start chewing some clock here in this third quarter.
Yeah, I like the elongated cadence, just seeing what O'Gorman's going to do, whether they're going to bring a blitzer, whether they're going to drop back, and we're kind of taking advantage of exactly where those lanes then end up due to that pressure or lack of.
Shufflebind wide to the left, 2 receivers near side to the right, and Dilges and Deal in the slot. Lounsbury in the pistol, they'll stay on the ground. Here's Merrill again, and here come the Knights this time. They got around that left end very quickly. And the play made this time by Jackson, is it 56?
It was 90 from the edge.
Jason Troyan. How do I see 56 and you're seeing a 90?
I'm seeing the big guy off the edge that just absolutely walked that thing down. You know, oftentimes you're running off the left edge and you leave the farthest guy on the right because he's a guy you shouldn't have to block. But very athletically, he gets down there and makes the play from behind. And, you know, 56 did ultimately stop it, but I think 90 was the one credited with the tackle.
Jason Troyan, a 225-pound sophomore. Nice play. 2nd down and 10 from the far hash mark. Lounsbury steps away from the rush, tucks and runs, and he's actually going to be met and only get back to the line of scrimmage. So Lounsbury initially had some running room, but Parker Scheidt, and here's that defensive team speed again for the O'Gorman Knights coming into play. Lounsbury scrambles, but he gets no gain. It's not necessarily a sack for those that care about things like that, but Lounsbury gains nothing, and now we've got a Knight defender down on the field with a cramp. 5:54 left to play in the third. Let's step aside for a quick injury timeout. Timeout's brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. We'll be back. It's 23-13. Governors trying to keep this possession alive when we return with more Pierre Governor football.
And the Crossing Pub are both conveniently located on Pleasant Drive in Pierre, South Dakota. At the quarter station, grab your favorite hot and cold beverages and snacks while filling your vehicle up with Cenex brand gasoline. The quarter station also features a super tunnel car wash to keep your vehicle sparkling clean. At the Crossing, grab a cold beverage and check out their selection of appetizers while watching the Stanley County Buffaloes and Pierre Governors live on their big screen televisions. Best of luck to all area students from the quarter station and the Crossing.
For over 70
Welcome back
years.
to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Walked off the field, but they will hope that this one gets back on the field as soon as possible. That is Parker Scheidt, who has really become the leader of this defense in this particular contest for the O'Gorman Knights. Back out of the Coca-Cola timeout, though. It's 3rd and 10 for the Governors. Promising start, but again, stalling a bit. They're at their own 30, make it 44-yard line. Brian Oakland play-by-play, Sean Lewis that side. Been a good one so far here. Of course, it's been a hot one, too. 5:27, the Governors after the restart. Letting that clock count down a little bit here. Look at Lounsbury in the pistol. 3 receivers right, Shufflebind far side to the left. They're rolling to the right as Lounsbury tosses, and this pass is undercut and almost picked off by number 11, Hunter Cox. Cox was there. In fact, Shufflebind was out here on the near side. He was the intended receiver. I don't know if Lounsbury telegraphed that one too much or whatever, but the only receiver who had a chance to catch that ball was Hunter Cox, and the Governors are fortunate that they'll get a punting opportunity instead of a takeaway.
And when you get that quarterback rollout, it's got to happen a whole lot sooner due to the fact that eventually when you start rolling out, you're going to run into the sideline. And so you've got to be able to get there. It's got to be quick, and anything that's not just puts guys in a bad spot real quick.
Lounsbury again, high punt. Good hang time. This one's taken on a fair catch. And this one by Braylon Treasures. So back-to-back punts on the possessions in the second half for the Pierre Governors. O'Gorman, who scored on their first but threw a long interception on the second, has it back again with 5:07 left here in the third quarter. 23-13, the Governors lead. And again, they'll start right at their own 20-yard line. So Gorman tested the waters and went deep on that last play. The Governors defended it perfectly. He'll stay back on the ground, but here's Gavin Hamrick up the middle, and he made a nice little juke and drive up across the 25 to the 30-yard line. And that should be 10 yards and good enough for a first down. Nope, they put him at the 29, so 9 yards. 2 carries, 20 yards for Gavin Hamrick in the second half. He also has a 10-yard catch and run for a score. And they've got a man in motion, Jack Stockland, right to left, and he looked like he was open for a moment, but they stay short. It's Hamrick, a couple of stiff arms to get rid of 2 Pierre defenders. But the second of which, Sutton Sonnenschein, makes sure he ends up on the turf across the 35. Or is it Will Eilers?
It was Will.
9 instead of 19.
I think so, but I was watching Hamrick get up. He didn't get up very gingerly and decided he was going to come off the sideline. He looks like he may either be cramping or have possibly sprained his ankle on that play.
Gavin Hamrick you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Ball carrier. Here's Stockland. And again, they deliver on the short stuff. Hudson Schaefer wraps him up, and then just a little token shove from behind by big Devin Binger. And this one will mark the Knights back to the 34, so a loss of 3. And again, the short routes here. Stockland's had a productive night with 2 big, long gainers, but he gets wrapped up here. 3rd and 6 now for the Knights. Myers in motion, left to right. Screen over the middle, crossing route, in fact, to take this screen. There's an open field tackle for Eilers again, but diving across the 40 to the 41. That's enough for a first down, and that's Logan Mebius.
I think that
will
may
gain
be
7.
0. Yep.
Hudson Schaefer.
That's Hudson Schaefer. Yep, that one, you kind of saw it from up here, you saw it from down there. You're looking into the sun, I'm sure, on the field level, and that one looked a little bit different, like they were going to simply hit the check down to the swing to the outside, and then all of a sudden you have the guy crossing back across the middle.
4 wide set, 2 either side from the near hash mark. Hermanson pump fakes, got a man in the air. Here come the Governors, and down goes Chase Hermanson. A quarterback sack, and now Eilers is in the mix.
Eilers and Schaefer
As
both.
was Hudson Schaefer. Schaefer, I think, got in there to, or was it Eilers who was the first one to kind of get up in the air? Now the Governors have a defensive back with a cramp.
Cramps in October.
Well, and again, we're a little surprised we're not, dealing with heat timeouts in this one as well. I mean, 90 degrees. I don't care what month it is. We really thought we would have them, but that hasn't been the case. A sack, by the way, a loss of 2, and the Knights will have it 2nd and 12. They're working on a cramp for a Pierre Governor player. Let's step aside again for an injury timeout. Timeouts of any kind sponsored by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. This is Governor Football.
Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitts Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Coming back in very soon. And meanwhile, the O'Gorman Knights, after a loss of 2 on a quarterback sack, the 3rd of the night for the Governor defense. Knights have it 2nd and 12 at their own 39-yard line. 2:40 counting down. We're in the 3rd quarter. The Governors lead 23-13. And a pre-snap penalty. Gavin Hamrick is back in there, but as the Knights tried to go with a freeze play, the Governors froze, but it was Hamrick who flinches in the backfield. And they're saying this is on the Governors.
Ooh. I don't know how that is when that back right in front of there decided that he was moving, and especially moving forward towards the line, which is what you can't do. They can have a lateral motion, but approaching and progressing toward the line of scrimmage is not it. That is I guess I would completely disagree.
Curious. That's a curious one, we'll call it. Governor stacking the front line. Now they back off, and here's Schaefer putting a hurt on Hermanson from behind, but after he throws the football, and he delivers out to the far side in the alley. Logan Mebius with the catch. Good enough for a first down. to the Pierre 48-yard line, and that will be a gain of 8.
Yeah, gain of 8, and then you get that first down by 1 yard, whereas if you were that 5 yards shorter or even 10 yards more, that wouldn't have been a possibility. So good job to know where the sticks are and to sit down for that Gorman night.
So just into Pierre territory here for OG. Hermanson with time this time, but it's running out. Binger got through, and maybe he got held as well. And now we've got a pass thrown to the far side and another flag thrown by the back judge.
I think the offensive holding hopefully is going to come first here before the pass interference call on the Guffs.
Did you see PI on that one? Was there a I didn't really see where the flag was there either. But but it was on the far side of the field.
It was a hand and a pull. And
so we had an offsetting penalties, so we'll replay the down here.
No, it sounds like they also called us for roughing the passer, I think on 0, and that was a 1 step and a hit, but it was from the backside.
No, that's not the case.
That
was on the previous play.
Okay.
We're still at the 48-yard line. Still 1st and 10, so it is offsetting penalties. Man in motion again, coming across. Braylon Treasure to the near side. Nice pass thrown here, a good route rather, but the pass is thrown behind the intended receiver, and he was wide open, sitting in his own little zone. Tanner Sharon, a backup wide receiver. He might have cut just a little too much maybe from what Hermanson was thinking, but that looked like a golden opportunity that the passing game of the Knights came up a little bit short on.
I completely agree. Now they're getting into doubles here. 2 receivers each side with a back in the backfield, and I guess we'll see if they're going to take a shot.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Back to throw again is Hermanson. He floats it up this time, has his man Stocklin at the 30, caught at the 28. He's hit immediately. He'll be brought down by Porter Hunsley with help from Aiden Beam. Jack Stocklin, a big 190-pounder. That pass was almost hanging up way too long. If you're a Knight fan, I was thinking maybe somebody for the Governors would be able to undercut it. That didn't happen. Instead, it's a 19-yard pickup. Jack Stocklin making big plays through the air, and Hermanson had the time to wait for him to open up this time.
He did. I'm not certain that was his intended receiver, as that one did hang up quite a bit, and he came underneath it and made a play on the ball.
Slant to Myers this time on 1st down. The Governors do a good job defensively with Eilers. He'll get some help from his friends. But Myers inside the 25, brought down to the 24, a gain of 5.
And you're seeing that short passing game, the quick screens, the quick slants coming through is, remembering back from years past, those are popping as staples. So you knew that eventually they were going to come back and get to them, and you just make them every bit a part of their offense.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter. 23-13 Governors. We've got 35 seconds counting down. Hermanson looking left. He's got single coverage out there, and the pass is caught for a touchdown, but this one is not going to count. The intended receiver pushes off, in my opinion, of a Governor defender. He actually pushed him out of the way and then spun around for the catch. It's Matt Steffen. And the Knights all kind of realize what's going on here. They're coming back. Pass interference against the Knights. Well, the Knights just going for a big one here from the 24-yard line. Neck and neck. Good coverage by the Governors. Steffen and the Knight fans don't like it, but from what I saw, that was a clear two-handed push in the middle of the back of the Governor defender before Steffen turned around and caught the football.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good call. I mean, he definitely had a hand in the back and pushed our guy simply to the turf, as we had very good coverage. And probably the one thing that I wish he would have called is if you'd have had another flag to throw that, is in high school football, you can't get up in a ref's face and start arguing the call, and that was definitely done by the old Gorman Knight on there.
Well, it's a 15-yard pass interference penalty even for the offense. Here comes Gavin Hamrick with a nice stiff arm sweep around the left side, has the 35 inside the 30. And down around the 26-yard line, and now Hamrick is going to be slow in getting up again with another cramp on the field and another injury timeout. They spot him to the 26, so a pickup of 13. And Gavin Hamrick, Coach Lewis, he's got a pretty tough stiff arm to deal with here.
Yeah,
if you've seen it.
When you're 200, yeah, I've seen it. Through these glasses, even though they're a little fogged up, 215 pounds, tough to deal with, not saying he's got elite speed, but he does have speed. And then you throw in a good move with a stiff arm to be able to keep your smaller guys off of it and eventually off your legs and some distance. That's a recipe for a good high school running back.
So it's going to be 3rd and 7. By the way, Gavin Hamrick, the 215-pound senior, he's committed. He's going to Augie next year, Coach. And tomorrow, that's a big game.
Yeah, it is.
USF,
Yeah.
Augie, key to the city.
Well, you know why he's going to Augie?
Why?
Because if he'd have to go the 2 blocks further to USF, he'd probably cramp up. He'd never make it there.
That's a joke between colleges.
That is
that's
a joke
that's
between
a Sioux
colleges.
Falls University joke.
Yes.
That is not a Gavin Hamrick knock.
No, he's a very good player. They're definitely, he fits their program. My guess is he's a super intellectual guy, and they need a big back like that. They like to have some speed. They like to have a big back. It fits, but no, it is key to the city weekend, and ultimately it's not just key to the city. I mean, it's battle of the neighborhood with those two teams that are ultimately 2 blocks apart, and their campuses, for the most part, are in the exact same location.
It's a turf war is what it is. Augie and USF tomorrow. Go Coup with 2 Governors on that squad. Meanwhile, 3rd and 7 as Hamrick is off the field. Out of that Coca-Cola injury timeout. Hermanson is looking for Myers. He's got it at the goal line. Touchdown, Bishop O'Gorman Knights. Myers had a step as he came across on a diagonal plane from the 5-yard line, just ahead, I believe, of Logan Whitty. And O'Gorman strikes for the 2nd time here in the 3rd quarter. That's on the final play of the 3rd quarter of play. That makes it 23-19 as they strike from 26 yards out on the 11th play of the drive. Isaac Myers, he's been a valuable receiver, and this time he's caught a whole bunch of short stuff. This time he catches a big one. The kick is high end over end. It wasn't very far, but it is through the uprights. And on the final play of the 3rd quarter, the Knights outscore the Governors 13-0 in that 3rd quarter. And we've got a new ball game. It's Pierre 23, O'Gorman 20. We pause for 60 seconds. We'll go to the 4th. It's the scoreboard brought to you by Gale's Gas Service in Pierre 23-20. Governors on River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Graham.
DRG Media Group Sports is the official voice of the Pierre Governors.
Our hash mark over the middle and wide open at the 30-yard line. Carter shuffle by and touchdown. Here's Olsen. Plenty of time. 3 seconds. Gets to shoot, and it's good for 3.
From football, volleyball, and soccer to basketball, wrestling, and softball.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Bank today.
Well, the longest sustained drive of the night for the O'Gorman Knights, or for either team for that matter, 5 minutes and 7 seconds as the Knights go 11 plays and 80 yards to close out the 3rd quarter. Interestingly, they scored on the final play of the 1st quarter, and they scored on the final play of the 3rd quarter. 26-yard touchdown pass from Chase Hermanson to Isaac Myers, who catches his 7th pass of the night. But his first 6 went for 21 yards. His 7th one alone went for more than the 21 combined he had on his first 6. 26 yards out. Rylan Cody's PAT made it 23-20, so we kick off the 4th quarter. There was an offside penalty or something.
Yep,
well, there was
offsides on 24.
Oh, yeah, back it up 5 to the 35. I always think they're kicking from the 35 instead of the 40-yard line. But
no, not in.
Third penalty.
Not in high school.
Right. 3rd penalty of the night for O'Gorman. And again, that touchdown came after a 15-yard pass interference penalty on the offense, which negated another would-have-been, could-have-been touchdown. Nice kick by Cody, taking the Governor return man back to the 5-yard line. Up the hash mark goes Jaron Deal with a head of steam, but finally met and dropped. At the 30-yard line, he'll fall ahead to the 32. So big drive coming here for the Governors. How big is this possession, Coach Sean Lewis?
I think it's really big. I mean, my my halftime synopsis was that we needed to win the third quarter, and we did not win the third quarter. And so to be able to come and, ultimately set the tone here at the beginning of the fourth quarter and show that we're here and we're here to battle, I think is super important. Just to get your offense back clicking, because in the third quarter we looked anything but clicking.
In fact, the Governors lost that third quarter 13-0. They led 23-7 at halftime. Gorman 2 for 3. They did throw an interception in that middle possession of the quarter, but they scored in 1:16 to start the second half, and they scored in 5:07 to close out that third quarter of play. So new ball game, but the Governors still have the lead. They'll try to keep the foot on the gas pedal here. Lounsbury going to go on the outs to Shufflebine, and he's stripped of the football.
I think he got his own ball back.
Ball is loose, and Shufflebine fortunate to get it back. There was some help there, too. Dale just came in there. Carter Merrill is out there. And that was a great strip of the football by a Gorman defender, but the Governors fortunate to keep it, and they get 5 yards on the play out to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, disaster averted, as if that would have been a turnover, and you're giving that ball right back to O'Gorman with kind of all of the momentum. There you see your lead dwindle and maybe even be surpassed.
So it's 2nd down and 5. Ho-hum, 5-yard gain for the Governors. Now Cooper Terwilliger is given some space. He's wide here to the left side, but Lounsbury looking the other way, and he'll go on the short route to Lincoln Dilgis, who has the catch at the 40-yard line. A couple of yards shy of the first down. They might give him the 41 for another yard. We'll see where the spot goes. Dilgis with a good hands play, and it's just across the 40, so that's only a gain of 3. Lincoln's first catch of the night. By the way, I had Lounsbury in the first half for 188 yards. Got him for 196 now on 16 pass attempts. 3rd and a foot. Here is Merrill for a first
Get
down.
going,
Sidesteps at the 50, and he is gone. 40
Don't
to the
touch
30.
it. Gosh,
20,
dang it.
10 to 5. Touchdown for the time being, but what Coach Lewis is talking about is behind the play. There was a block in the back by a Governor helper, and that is going to take away a 60-yard touchdown for the Governors and Carter Merrill, and that foul is going to take place at the 20-yard line. Really didn't need it to. Obviously, you had Carter Merrill with the speed. He was going to win the race. I had said he was gone. Even when I said that might have been a little bit in question. But
I think I had said it too, and then I was retracting my statement as I saw Cooper coming up.
So the foul occurs at the 30-yard or 20-yard line. That'll be a 10-yard penalty with a block in the back. A clip? Are you calling a clipping foul
here? They called a clip, yep. They're going to throw that at 15 rather than 10.
Ouch. And they're going to mark this all the way back to the 36-yard line, so the foul occurs at the 21. Still a 39-yard gain for Carter Merrill, as it turns out, as far as the statistic hounds go.
First and 10 Governors, the Knights 36-yard line.
But Governors will have to retool at the 36 of O'Gorman, and Carter Merrill on the first down play here dropped behind the line of scrimmage. There's Parker Scheidt, who dealt with a cramp earlier. Huge game for that young man. Loss of 3 back to the 39. And the Governors have to be careful they don't really start going in the wrong direction, because they had a huge coulda, shoulda, woulda on the previous play.
Yeah, got to show some resiliency here, kind of buckle down, just get back to the offense. Forget about the penalty and keep moving things forward. Definitely can't be moving backwards as we've got this ball in O'Gorman territory.
9:45, counting down. Fourth quarter, still 23-20. Governors. Lounsbury wants to throw, but it'll stay out on the flat with Merrill, far side. He'll make a move and gain back to the original line of scrimmage. He gets those 3 yards back. And Carter Merrill eluded the efforts in the getting into the backfield by Talek Schlimgen. So there is another Schlimgen, but Talek in this case,
just not Sully.
Just a sophomore.
Yeah, thank goodness not Sully.
So, back to the 36-yard line. Third catch from Merrill out of the backfield tonight. Big play for the Governors. 3rd and 10 in what you would assume to be perhaps 4-down territory. Lounsbury on the far hash, drops back over the middle, and Schuffelbein had to maybe reach down just a little bit. Still surprised that Carter Schuffelbein's not able to make this play. No, it's Jaron Deal. 7 versus 1. Once again, these skinny numbers.
Especially when we're a little further away here with the track at the field. On the full-size football field, we noticed earlier, we're just a little bit further away from the action. Makes the numbers a teeny bit harder to see.
Tell you what, whoever designed those Aiden Van Balen homecoming Hawaiian short jerseys with the big numbers, they're to be credited. Meanwhile, 8:59 to go. Play of the game right now for the Governors. Trying to preserve a 3-point lead, trying to add to time of possession. 4th and 10, over the middle, too tall, and it's tipped, and it is brought down by O'Gorman. Well, this might be, hey, if you're not going to catch the football, at least O'Gorman brings it down, and they're going to take over at their own 12-yard line instead of at their own 36. Logan Mebius comes down with the interception. It looked like Caleb Lounsbury was looking for Cooper Terwilliger, but he overthrew him. And then there was a tip by a Knight up front, caught by Mebius from behind. And again, that's a 24-yard difference. So the Governors, all things considered,
yeah, just the same as
good
the
as
good
a
punt.
punt.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooper, you get a high school kid wanting to make a play, getting his interception in there, but probably one that they wish would have just hit the turf.
So from the 12, 8:33, counting down. First pass is out to Braylon Treasure, and again, nothing fancy. But boy, are the O'Gorman Knights just blocking a little bit better here in the second half. Alex Christian, backup tight end, got in there and helped spring Treasure for a first down gain up to the 29-yard line. That is 17 yards.
And it looks like we're playing our corner just a little bit off, and so they're able to just have a little bit more space and make a move and catch one and get some yards with it.
A man in motion. Hermanson looks left, throws against his body back to the near side, and he threads the needle between Sutton Sonnenschein and Will Eilers. He finds Jack Stocklin up to the 49-yard line, and that's a gain of 20.
Yeah, it's nothing fancy. It's patience. He's just standing in the pocket, and he's got way too much time to sit there and make a decision. And with a cerebral player like he is, he's going to eventually make a good one, and he hasn't made a bad one yet this half.
Passing game for the Knights is just picked up in droves here in the second half. In fact, Stocklin in particular, 5 catches, 104 yards unofficially. Now near midfield, here come the Knights. They'll go on the ground to Hamrick. He steps to the right side, is into Pierre territory at the 45. You've got a collision out there with he and Aiden Beam, and now again a little bit of a limp and more cramping for Gavin Hamrick. He'll have to come out on the near side. But still a good gain inside the Pierre 45 to the 43-yard line. That's a pickup of 6. Hamrick at the 70 mark in 11 carries tonight.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing some cramping issues going on. The sun is down. It's going to cool off a bit, but it doesn't stop the hydration that's already taken place for 3 quarters.
New ball carrier here on the handoff is Stocklin. Wide receiver who's had a great game, and he's just getting a little bit of help following the blockers, doing the job. And he will shuffle his way to the 40-yard line. That's another Knight first down. Stocklin's first carry of the night. First carry by anybody other than Gavin Hamrick or quarterback Chase Hermanson, who has scrambled a couple of times for 4 yards each. 23-20 Governors. 6:45 to go, fourth quarter of play. Isaac Myers in motion out the other way. He's looking, and he has him. Myers was left all alone at the 35. Makes a stop and a move at the 30 to get rid of Lincoln Schoenhard. And Myers will dive inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. And I'll tell you what, Sean, not only are the Knights feeling it, but their fans are getting more and more into this game as the second half rolls along.
They're a little rowdy. Some of them are quote-unquote heckling here as they got all over Cooper after that, just not great play. They're on offense, but they're definitely getting excited now about their Knights. As you saw one of the receivers go hit a post, the corner went with him, and that just allowed the 5-yard out underneath to go, as we didn't have a safety or an outside linebacker there to pick it up.
All right, I want to get back to that play after this one here with 6 minutes to play now. It's 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Governors shuffling the D-line. Fake the handoff to Stockland. They've got Treasure out here near side, and the Governors will wrap him up. Still a decent gain inside the 25, down to about the 22, and a gain of 5. But let's go back to that last play from what we saw. Very wide open. Isaac Myers, is the Governors' defense kind of losing assignments a little bit, or are they a little slow to pick up on one of their assignments?
Yeah, it just really depends on, what exact coverage that they were running, because it really looked like the outside receiver ran the corner off and allowed the inside receiver to hit that 5-yard out. So whether or not they were in zone and our outside linebacker needed to get down, or they were playing man and our safety was just late getting there, it's just not something that you want to see out of us.
Push pass here to Mabius and a sweep around the left side, and he cut up front and then out and lost another Governor defender all the way into the red zone, brought down at the 15-yard line, a pickup of 7. And again, technically a pass play as it was pushed forward to Mabius, sweeping across in motion. 1st and 10, 15-yard line. The Knights about to run their 8th play of this possession that started at the 8:53 mark and at their own 12-yard line.
Yeah, ultimately we had, Governors there. Lincoln Schonard was in good position, just didn't make the play, and then it turns into a positive one for the Knights.
2 wide to the right side, 1 to the left. Out of the pistol, Hermanson hesitates, rolls out. Governors giving chase. He fires, had a man wide open, but misses him. Led him a little too far. That is Mabius, who broke away from the defense.
From 19.
Of the efforts of Sutton Sonnenschein here, but as long as the protection is there, and again, even Coach Poppinga said it in our pregame conversation, the quarterback isn't the best thrower, he's not the best athlete, but he's a very heady player. He just unable to make the throw this time.
He buys himself just enough time to get going.
The Governors take advantage of that. We'll see. Second and 10. Hamrick back in there. Fake it to him. Mabius out. Near side. Makes his move to the 10. Had a man to beat, but he didn't beat Sutton Sonnenschein. He gets him down at the 5-yard line. Move the chains. And they will move him. It'll be 1st down and goal for a gain of 10. And now the Governors going to have to start battling the clock here. If the Knights should punch one in, right now we're at the 4:15 mark, and if the Knights score a touchdown, then the Governors find themselves down. And they'll find themselves on short time as well for the offense to try to gain an answer back. Snap here, an inside handoff, easy run in for Isaac Myers from 5 yards out, touchdown on the sweep to the right side, 26-23, Bishop O'Gorman Knights.
And not a great series for the Govs, kind of compounding from the last offensive series, and you just can't let mistakes pile up on more mistakes. You got to be able to right the ship, get it going, and eventually that's what they have to do now going back on offense. We're in the hole. We're 3 down. If they make this 4, and we got to go down with a good score.
Big kick here to make it a field goal or more possession for the Governors, and that is the case. Cody gets it through. Logan Whitty got in there, but seemed like he stopped before an opportunity to block that, but as it is, O'Gorman pitching a shutout here in the second half. They now take their first lead of the game at 27-23, and even 4 minutes to play. Let's pause for 30 seconds. We're back for a night kick when we return with more Pierre Governor football.
Xander Auto Parts, the only local auto parts store in the Pierre.
Follow the Pierre Governors on the official voice of the Govs, River 92.7, and also on the River 92.7 page of the DRG News smartphone app and drgnews.com.
Welcome to Bowie Foods at Al's Oasis Plaza. My great-grandfather, Gus Bowie, opened the first store in 1905. I'm R.F. Bowie, the president of Bowie Foods. We aren't your typical store. You'll find everything you need for your family. You'll save money, and I promise you're going to enjoy your grocery shopping experience. We carry a lot of locally produced products and some things you just aren't going to find anywhere else. South Dakota owned, family owned, Bowie Foods.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
Makes it a 4-point game. It's O'Gorman 27 and the Governors 23. Welcome back to McEnany Field. Brian Oakland along with Sean Lewis. Live streaming with Caleb Brozick and live ticket at drgnews.com and the River 92.7 page. William Wilson and Cashton Seaboy running the show in studio. Kickoff for Ryland Cody. He's done a pretty good job. This one will take Jaron Deal to the 5-yard line. He'll run up the far side outside the numbers, and good surge up there, but the Governors will have it 1st and 10 up ahead of the 30.
That was number 1, Jaron Deal.
Yep, got tripped up there, dove forward, got to the 31. I mean, not a bad return. It's going 70s better than having to go 80.
So with 3:55 to play, Governors will have it 1st and 10. And we'll call it the 31-yard line. Jaron Deal, who was preparing for this game as if he was going to have to play quarterback after Caleb Lounsbury was knocked down hard at the end of that Yankton game a week ago. Lounsbury wants to throw on 1st down. He'll tuck and run and get positive yardage on the scramble on the far side of the field ahead of the 30, out at about the 35-yard line, and a pickup of 4.
Very good heads-up play, pull the ball down, go ahead, see that you got an open lane. Ultimately kind of had a nice pocket, broke down over to his left, flushed out to the right, take 4 yards and get out of bounds without any contact.
And the clock stops with a play out of bounds. 2nd and 6 at the 3:49 mark. We'll see if the Governors have a response here. Obviously, Yankton had a big response after the Governors came back from way behind and tied it up a week ago. Lounsbury, quick fire far side, and Lincoln Dill just has it ahead of the line to gain. 1st down, Governors at the 41-yard line.
A nice heads-up play there. Not necessarily that we're in, 2-minute offense or anything, but you do have the clock to think about. Just the completion, move the sticks, get out of bounds, reset. Next play.
Second catch for Dilges. Clock stops at 3:45. That's a good play to show that your quarterback is in a pretty good rhythm, though. I like Caleb Lounsbury throwing the football. Now he's over the middle, got Terwilliger into night territory. He is upended on a low tackle at the 41. Cooper dives all the way inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And the Governors are officially on the move after a pickup of 21 here.
Yeah, I like that play call. Going right away with the way that they were looking in motion. You were going to get a cover 4 look, so both your safeties and corners were coming off. So hit that thing very quickly over the middle, and then allow the big body and Cooper Terwilliger to do his thing.
Lounsbury over 200 yards passing tonight. There's a flag down here as he fires to Schuffelbein, and from behind that play is broken up. But the flag rests here at the 38-yard line, the line of scrimmage on the near side. Don't know if the Governors were in the right formation or something like that, but we'll hear the call from Derek Omi. Game officials, they haven't called a lot of plays tonight. And a little bit of a delay here in the recall at formation. So the Governors will mark back 5. That is their 5th penalty of the night.
I thought that Schuffelbein down here had double-checked with the official, and I thought that he'd given them the signal that he was go ahead and he was on the line, but he must have moved himself off the line.
1st down and 15 at the Pierre 40 or the O'Gorman 43-yard line. Still a lot of time left. 3:13. We're in the 4th. Shotgun snap. Lounsbury far side, and he had to throw that one out of bounds because the defender Mebius had jumped the route.
And pressure from his backside.
Now, you make an interesting point about Schuffelbein checking with the official. We had that issue at Brandon Valley a few years ago. Big plays marked off or negated because of maybe communication with the sideline officials. Would you believe this is the same officiating crew? Somewhat.
I mean the majority of it is, but it's one where you check with them, and then you got to double check, because if you do slide off, they'll move their call or their hand back the other way, and you got to make the adjustment.
Lounsbury in trouble. Schuffelbein, or Lounsbury gets out of there, and then he fires against the grain. Back across his body, looking for Jaron Deal at the 35. This one also is knocked down. And I only say that last point as coincidence, but nothing more. 3rd and 15. 3:03, the Knights lead 27-23. I'll tell you what, win or lose, the Governors have performed well. They haven't had a good second half. I think the Knights have just figured things out, and they played obviously a lot better in the second half versus the first half of play, but It's time for Pierre to suck up and make a play themselves here. 4 wide, both ways. Carter Merrill, the tailback. Lounsbury back. He'll throw to Terwilliger on a screen. He turns upfield. Hash mark 40 to the 30. Bouncing off 2, 3, 4 Knights. And he's got the 25 down to the 24. First down, Governors. Get it into the hands of the big guy. And Cooper Terwilliger takes care of business here. First down, Governors, 19. Moving forward.
Yeah, very well drawn up play. Similar to one that you saw the Knights earlier. When they did that kind of double screen, looked like it was going to be a swing screen, and then it's coming to your tight end, just coming across right there on kind of a slide screen. But and then Cooper lowering his shoulder. I mean, I think he's definitely feeling the pressure. Hey, I'm going to make up for that mistake and make a big play and get my team back in this game.
24-yard line is where it's at. The pitch goes to 24. Carter Merrill starts right, cuts back up the numbers inside the 20-yard line, and a sizable gain here on first down. They'll spot him to the 17. That's a pickup of 7. On Merrill's 22nd tote of the night. I've got him at 123 yards. 28-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and
part
now
of it.
Stay with the sticks. Ultimately, can't get yourself down a distance. You're at second and third. Just keep moving these change forward. Can't have a field goal. Need a full score.
27-23. Pitch it back to Merrill again. Up the numbers and staying in bounds. I think that's a key right now, too.
Yeah.
2 minutes we're under. You may have to force O'Gorman if they want to take timeouts to do that. But the Governors, if they score here on this drive, obviously do not want to have much time on the clock. Merrill gets all the way to the 11. 6 more. First down, Governors. It's getting good. Minute 40 to go. 27-23. Governors trailing by 4. They've been outscored 21-0 here in the second half of play.
Yeah, you want to slow down here, but you also don't want to lose your momentum. So it's kind of playing both sides of that coin, but just ensuring ball security, good positive plays, and need to punch it into the end zone.
And now the Knights will take their first timeout on defense. First timeout charged in the second half. Timeouts are brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling. In Pierre, we pause for 30 seconds. We'll be back with more Pierre Governor football.
Briggs Trucking and Construction in Fort Pierre provides quality freight transportation services, cargo hauling, excavation, and demolition services. They also specialize in dirt and gravel work for everything from commercial work to new construction. Briggs Trucking and Construction will haul everything from light poles to farm and agricultural supplies. The bigger the job or the bigger the load, the better, as that is where their expertise really shines. Contact Briggs Trucking and Construction at 605-280-2848 or email them at cbriggs25@pi.midco.net to visit about your next project.
Graham Tire of Pierre is your premier hometown shop, specializing in tires to fit vehicles, from ATVs to large farm equipment and everything in between. At your tire store next door, you can find a plethora of brand name tires that range from 4 to 10 ply and much more. Our highly skilled technicians can handle brakes, heating, and air conditioning. Call us today at 224-8643 or visit us at grahamtire.com. Graham Tire is a proud sponsor of Pierre and surrounding communities' local activities.
And there's about 18 of the 22 bodies on the field, all piled in, and the whistles will blow, and the Knights will pick up a second charged timeout. So obviously Jason Poppinga and company, if they should fall behind, they want as much time as possible to do what they may need to do. 3 yards from Merrill, and another Coca-Cola timeout. Governors will have it 2nd and 7 at the 8. After this 30-second break in the action, this is Pierre Governor football.
Buying or selling a home is a big decision. You need an expert who knows the market and gets results. Scott Darnall at Lee Real Estate in Pierre brings experience, local knowledge, and a no-nonsense approach to help you navigate every step. Whether you're looking for the perfect home or the best offer, Scott is committed to making the process smooth and stress-free. Ready to make your next move? Call Scott Darnall at 605-220-2676. Lee Real Estate, Meredith Lee, broker, owner.
Lucky for us,
welcome back
to the O'Gorman Knights. The Governors trailing 27-23. 2nd down and 7 from the 8-yard line. Sean Lewis predicted Cooper Terwilliger would play some fullback coming down the stretch. He was in at fullback. They pitch it to Merrill. And again, another pile up at the 5-yard line. 3 more for Carter Merrill. It looked like an offset eye, so to speak, for Terwilliger. He started in front of Merrill, then he shifted in motion and reset out on the wing. And Gorman will take their third and final timeout. I think this time we'll keep it here. 27-23 and now 1:10 to play, and the ball is resting right on the 5-yard line. Coach Sean Lewis, I'll tell you what, if you're defense right now, since that's your forte, I suppose, if you're the O'Gorman defense, what are you thinking?
Well, you got to
stop
try
them at all costs.
You've got to try and stay even, that's for sure. So what was happening there is Cooper and Merrill were both on one side, and then it's a simple count numbers. So they counted numbers, saw that they had more numbers to the wide side, less numbers to the short side, motion both of those guys over to the other side, and just see if you can create one less, because one less guy springs that. They did that. They obviously had one less, just not two less, and it's positive yards, keeping the chains moving forward and forcing O'Gorman to use their last final timeout.
And obviously, if you're Pierre, you're in 4-down territory. You need a touchdown. A field goal won't cut it.
And we can get an extra set of downs.
That's absolutely. They do have room for a first down. It's 3rd and 3, 5-yard line. The line to gain is inside the 2, close to the 1. Terwilliger is the fullback in the backfield. Merrill behind him. They'll go left on the toss sweep. Here goes Merrill. Oh, they get to him though. They cut through the lead block. And a nice play here by number 11, Hunter Cox, who's done good things in this game. If Merrill gets a gain, it's of only a yard. In fact, they still spot him at the 5-yard line, so do or die for the Governors, as it is 4th down and 3 from the 5. And now it's Pierre's turn to take a timeout. Clock stops at 37 seconds to play. Let's sneak a 30 in this time. Brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. We're back with Pierre Governor Football.
The Ramkota Hotel is thrilled to introduce the Riparian Pub and Cafe. Lunchtime just got delicious with their lunch buffet featuring a fresh salad bar, homemade soup of the day, and a daily hot entree served from 11 a.m.
Life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your...
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where they treat you like you own the place, because you do.
To the right. Crowd getting into it. The Knight fans down in front of us. The ball on the near hash mark. Governors are going to let it they'll bide their time a little bit here. From the near hash, Lounsbury waiting. Seconds are being counted down now. And Coach Steele will take another timeout.
Yep, didn't get the look he wanted coming out of there, and wisely just said, nope, new play.
So another timeout on the field, and second charge timeout here for the Pierre Governors. I just got told to go home and start the bus.
Well, not yet. We got 15 seconds left of the game.
Yeah, I mean, but I always like coming here. Might change my tune here. 27-23, we keep it here. All right, what's your best play offensively? The Governors need it right here, right now.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the two-point conversion kind of concept that we ran down in Yankton. But Steele's got to know he's got to have confidence in his guys, and he's just got to go to the hot hand. And so, I'm probably thinking Carter Merrill's going to get it, and we may have another fullback set. We also may spread them out. I'm really not sure where Coach Steele's going to go with this one.
Bottom line is, if every guy on the Pierre squad had a job to do, right now is the time to get it done. The blocking is going to have to be true. you just don't know what's going to happen. Everybody on their feet here. 15 seconds to play. Again, 4th and 4. The Governors still have a timeout, if I'm not mistaken. Lounsbury has it, looking to throw. And again, no play, apparently. There was whistles. And a timeout again. Can you call timeouts consecutively? I didn't know you could do that, actually. But
there are some rules of the game. I've only been the head coach of one game when Steele was having a baby, and it was against Douglas, against Majacek, oddly enough. And otherwise, I've never had to call timeouts. So I just let the big guy do the thing, and I don't worry about the rules.
Still 4th down and 4. Ball on the O'Gorman 5-yard line. Just reminiscent of things and situations that the Governors have been in before. You go back to maybe the state semifinals in Yankton a year ago. And you go back to, last week in the final minute also at Yankton. The Governors came from 21 down, tied it at 28. Coach Lewis alluded to the 2-point conversion that the Governors scored on 1 week ago. Right now they need a touchdown, and they need it from 5 yards out, not 2 or 1 yard. But they can get a first down if they're inside the 1 without scoring. No more timeouts left. Here it goes. Lounsbury will throw over the middle. Terwilliger. It's through his hands. Incomplete. The Knights stop the Governors. Terwilliger had position. I don't know if the Knight defender got up in there and got a hand to knock it away. I did see Gavin Hamrick taunting a Governor player, and there's going to be a flag on this play. That's really going to be inconsequential. The Knights will take over at the 5-yard line, and then they'll lose half the distance on that. But a great play for the Knight defense. Just another play, unfortunately, that the Governors are unable to make. And unsportsmanlike against the Knights, but it's going to be, again, not really going to matter. Knights lose 2 yards on that penalty. Great effort by the Governors, a great last hurrah attempt. They ran 12 plays in going 64 yards, but they needed 69. And they ran 3 minutes and 45 seconds off the clock. The Knights with a kneel down to finish it off. And your final score on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, O'Gorman. Hey, homecoming is all about making memories, and they've made some tonight. They come from 23-7 down at halftime. And again, they end up pitching the shutout here in the second half. Final score, again, on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, the O'Gorman Knights 27 and the Pierre Governors 23. O'Gorman improves to 4-2 on the season. The Governors will fall to 3-3. Governors back home to take on the Sturgis Scoopers 1 week from tonight. Final score on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard. That's brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. They use their budget plan and keep full service when it gets cold to whenever that is, to keep warm all season long. But of course, one last right on the money highlight play turned in by the O'Gorman Knight defense on that last one, denying what could have been a 5-yard touchdown from Lounsbury to Cooper Terwilliger. It was through the tight end's hands, and it is a victory for the O'Gorman Knights. Right on the money highlight plays throughout this contest, sponsored by Rounds Financial Services in Pierre, where your money works for you. Tough way to lose another one here, Coach, but I think in one regard, and I'm just speculating here, and this is me from a fan standpoint, maybe coming into this game, I don't know if the Governors had, obviously they had what it took. I didn't expect them to own the first half against this 11 AAA squad the way they did. So you're thinking coming into that second half, simply put, just keep doing what you're doing. But obviously, the Knights made some plays, and great second half and coming from behind for the O'Gorman Knights. Tough way to lose one if you're the Governors, though.
Yeah, probably, not favored coming into the game. Playing a AAA opponent, playing a team who's now getting the running back, and, things like that when they've had 2 big wins, both over Jefferson and Harrisburg. But then after having that first half, ultimately you can find solace in what you want, but you want to win the game, and that's what you come out here to play, and that's probably where the Governors are going to leave here with a bad but yet probably even more motivated taste in their mouth.
Well, you want to make a statement coming in when you have that opportunity, and they did for a while, but the statement kind of goes away when you're unable to make the plays that are needed to be made, and ultimately you do come out of here with another tick in the wrong column.
Yeah, it's a tough one. When you're at the 5 and you've done enough things right, but then you did a few things wrong that ultimately take that one out of it for you. And yeah, that was a tough one. You come in here, it's a tough pace to play. Speaking from years past, coming here all the time, and it's at 5 o'clock, it's hot, but we got no excuses. You just simply got to keep doing the right things and get better, and not worry about every double-A opponent from here on out.
Well, when it was over 90 degrees, the Pierre Governors were actually the better team on the field in this one here tonight. Once again, 27-23, Gorman comes from behind, and they knock off the Pierre Governors. That is from the Gales Gas Service scoreboard. We'll pause for 3 minutes, and our postgame show comes up next. Postgame is brought to you by Family Dental with offices in Pierre and Gettysburg. And a conversation with the head coach, Steve Steele, coming up, along with the full recap and big plays of the game from Hermanson Endodontics, your Cowboy Country Store's player of the game. Also coming up, part of your Family Dental postgame. This is Pierre Governor Football on your official voice of the Pierre Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Dr. Ryan and his team at Family Dental in Pierre and Gettysburg would like to thank their wonderful patients for allowing us to treat their whole family, from infants to elders and everyone in between, including routine dental care, same-day crowns and bridges, implants, and many more procedures. We are excited that soon we'll be able to offer IV sedation. We are excited for what the future will bring. Call 224-7774 to schedule an appointment today. Again, thank you to all our wonderful patients.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
Fall sports are here, and Beck Motor Company is proud to cheer on our local athletes. Just like teamwork on the field or court, you can count on teamwork at our dealership. Whether you're driving a new Chevy Equinox, a tough Chevy Silverado, or keeping your current ride in top shape with our service department, Beck Motor Company is here for all your automotive needs. Good luck to all our hometown teams this season. From your friends at Beck Motor Company, we're making a great deal better. www.beckmotors.com, 605-224-5912.
Dakota Storm Roofing is a locally owned roofing company in Pierre, specializing in both residential and commercial roofing services. They can handle your asphalt shingle, metal roofing, and flat roof needs. New construction, plus all types of roof repairs. They can handle the finishing touches, adding fascia, soffit, and gutters too. No job is too big or too small. For a free estimate, call Dakota Storm Roofing at 280-9794. Go to dakotastormroofing.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram.
Superior Concrete is proud to sponsor the Governors this season, and just as proud to offer the finest concrete solutions available for commercial and residential applications, as well as foundation and flat work. The bottom line, if you need anything done with concrete, we can do it. Superior Concrete. Give us a call today for an estimate or more information. That's Superior Concrete. Find us on Facebook or call the office at 605-494-0102. That's 494-0102. Call today.
Do you love watching high school sports but find yourself wanting to be more involved? LiveTicket.tv has the solution for you. They're looking for production managers to assist for this school year. Duties include the management of equipment as well as basic technological understanding. But don't stress, paid training will be provided. Part-time wages starting at $20 per hour. Call 833-605-LIVE, extension 2. That's 833-605-5483, extension 2. And punch your ticket to joining one of the fastest growing companies in South Dakota.
Now a bitter pill for the Governors to swallow. Welcome back to McEnany Field as Pierre falls in this one 27-23. Obviously a great football game, and this is one of those where all the fans in Governor Land are going to say, hey kids, you can hold your head up high. You played 11 AAA as tight as anybody can all season long. A good team in 11 AAA in this one, even though they are a little undersized, obviously, but it's a proud football tradition to say the least. And hey, the Governors have built some tradition themselves. Just a great great ball game for the Governors and a learning experience in the loss. And we'll be expecting Coach Steve Steele up here to talk about this one. What do you tell the kids after something like this, Coach Sean Lewis?
You got to tell them, like, we did 1,000 things right. And that's what you've got to focus on. And we unfortunately did about 4 or 5 things wrong, and those have to get cleaned up. And if we can kind of play a cleaner game, not sputter coming out of halftime in the third quarter, then I think it's a completely different ball game. When you get into play from the lead and you're not making mistakes and you get the ball rolling, things could have went a whole lot differently. And I think that's the thing you say. We did enough to win this game, just not enough all at the same time.
And if you play this game on your home field, maybe you're the team that beats the old Gorman Knights 27-23.
The old coulda, woulda, shouldas.
That's the way it goes. Coach Sean Lewis, thanks a lot so much, and good luck in that Key to the City game tomorrow. And go Coup, and that'll be what he is in town for once again tomorrow when USF takes on Augustana. Coach Steve Steele is up here to talk about this one, and again, Coach, doggone it anyway. I mean, had opportunities and great first half. I told Coach Lewis that when it was over 90 degrees tonight, the Pierre Governors were the better football team on the field. But 23-7, you had the lead at halftime, and you just had things going. I figured there would be adjustments from O'Gorman. Unfortunately, whatever adjustments you tried to make didn't necessarily materialize. I think they just opened up their playbook a little bit, and the kids were a little slow to respond. That's kind of my point of view, and I guess I'll get your take from this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, they made some good adjustments in the second half, offensively especially, and we got to score. We can't, every point matters. Blocked extra point, we're kicking a field goal, instead of having to score a touchdown. We score a touchdown and it gets called back. I mean, those are all the things that every little fine, minute detail matters in these close games, and we needed to have them. And, the fact of the matter is if we have those, we win the game.
I think early on in this game, we kind of look at the size. In O'Gorman for an 11 AAA team, they don't have the size that other teams do. Obviously, the size of their roster isn't quite the same either, but I think you were able to take advantage in many cases. Sure, they had the speed and the quickness to get Hawks to the ball or whatever, but suddenly you start breaking them down. Carter's picking up yards in bigger chunks, and even if you're only getting 1 or 2 yards on the ground, use that run, set up the pass, and a lot of things just fell into place in that first half.
Yeah, and again, that was kind of the message to the guys. This is a good AAA football team. This is the best of Sioux Falls. That's what O'Gorman is. They don't have a feeder system. They can get whoever they want out of this whole population, and they played right with it. Again, 2 plays, 1 play makes a difference, and we win this game.
Absolutely, but what was the conversation at halftime, given how well things went? But obviously, are you a little cautious and cautiously optimistic, but cautious nonetheless when you come into the second half?
Yeah, I think we wanted to stay aggressive. And I said we got a couple of the second and shorts, and then we tried to throw and get aggressive with it and stay aggressive, and then the second and short turned into a third and medium. Yeah. And I said those were. Obviously everything's hindsight. You go back, you try and just get first downs. Maybe that makes a difference. But again, when you look back at this as a whole game, I mean, it's so many one plays can make the difference. In this one.
And they're a team that doesn't really use the run to set up the pass. They use the short pass to set up the stuff down the middle, and they made it just enough plays. But you just never knew when that big shot was coming.
Yeah, I mean, again, credit to them. They made some good adjustments, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I thought our defense had a great game plan, and then the adjustments. And 24 ran extremely hard in the second half. Yeah. He was a hammer, and we struggled to tackle him too.
Stiff arms. Well, you mentioned tackling, and that was one thing that was really good in the first half. That did fatigue get involved in that as you wore down a little bit?
Yeah, maybe. That's one of the things. That is tough. AA, AAA. 24 played a tad both ways. That was about it. And if you looked at him, it was pretty much the only guy on their team cramping up. Where I think a lot of our two-way guys. Our D-line was really tired by the end of that game. So screens is a tough thing for D-linemen to do. So
really surprised there was no heat timeouts tonight. It seemed seemed like it should have been. But anyway, I was surprised there weren't any last week either. But I guess you got to file this one away and respond next week. And hey, last year at this time, you just lost your 4th straight game. everything looked turned around, and you can do that again here, maybe starting next week with Sturgis.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. We know we're a really good football team. And again, we just got to, if we can put a whole game together, I don't know that there's a team that can beat us.
Tip your hat to this O'Gorman comeback. What is, if you're another team in 11 AA, you got a 3-3 Pierre team, and what are you looking at as you watch film on the Pierre Governors in this game, thinking in the rest of the last 3 weeks of the season?
Yeah, again, I kind of said it on one of the other things. Nobody's dangerous and everybody's dangerous,
No.
But I still think that we've shown. We can play with just about anybody. And that's good and bad.
And that's what we still have to look forward to. Obviously, lessons learned in a loss, but Sturgis next week, back at home. Hopefully, it doesn't rain you out. But what are you looking forward to, at least from that standpoint?
Yeah, we'll get back into it. They've had some ups, they've had some downs. They've got a lot of solid football players on that team, and we'll see. We'll get back to the planting stone here and then figure out what we can do.
And last year was a defensive battle out there, and I would expect much more of the same thing too from them this year. Coach, too bad, but we'll get them again sometime, huh?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, good effort for the Governors, and 27-23. It is the Gorman Knights with a victory. Let's pause for 2 minutes, and we'll be back with more of our Family Dental postgame. This is Pierre Governor football.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building. The garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
I'm Scott Nye. As a coach for the Pierre Governors, I know a winning game plan is crucial. When it comes to your finances, you deserve one too. At New Edge Advisors, our name is new, but our commitment to you isn't. We're the same trusted team you've known, and we've expanded our playbook of resources to help you plan for retirement, manage investments, and protect your future. Let's build the strategy that gets your financial future into the end zone.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors LLC is a separate entity from LPL Financial.
At Avera Orthopedics, we're transforming pain into possibility every day. Whether you're chasing a personal best or simply want to enjoy life to the fullest, our specialized care is designed to help you feel better and stronger. We're here for you. No referral needed. Trust Avera Orthopedics to unlock a world of endless possibilities. Visit avera.org/orthopedics and start your journey from pain to possibility today.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
Well, we're back at McEnany Field in Sioux Falls, and so close but so far away for the Pierre Governors. Last week they came from behind furiously to force a tie. Tonight they got come from behind on, if you will, and the Governors almost did what Yankton did to them last week. They were 5 yards out, but just couldn't get that one last completion in the end zone. A ball goes through the hands of Cooper Terwilliger, and I just found out from Coach Steele that even Jaron Deal had his hands on the deflection from behind the play deeper into the end zone. So there was actually two opportunities to haul that pass in, but it is the Knights who come away with an exciting homecoming victory. And I for homecomings, I mentioned it last week. I think homecoming is a little bit more special of a night for the players. Obviously, the coaches usually hate it, but hey, if you get a good opponent on your homecoming game and you come away with a big victory, at least it's just one game, but certainly some valuable memories can be made in that regard. But unfortunately for the Governors, it's the Yankton Bucks and the O'Gorman Knights who are getting those homecoming memories. Pierre had some good memories from a couple of weeks ago, but anyway, let's move on. More of our Family Dental postgame. Let's give you the recap in this one. The Governors scored first. In fact, O'Gorman, when they scored with 4 minutes left in this contest, that was their first lead of the game, 27-23, and they won it from there. But here's how it all began. Second drive of the game for the Governors. Here goes 3 plays and 59 yards. They get a 48-yard touchdown pass from Caleb Lounsbury to Carter Shufflebine. Little skinny post over the middle. Shufflebine catches it in stride and outdistances the rest of the way for a 7-0 lead. That at the 4:15 mark of the first quarter. And then O'Gorman, 2 possessions later, responds at the end of the first quarter. They had a big 45-yard pass play to Jack Stockland down to the 10-yard line. On the last play of the first quarter, it was Gavin Hamrick running it in from 10 yards out, and the PAT makes it 7-7 at the end of 12 minutes with the Governors in the first possession of the second half response. 6 plays, 65 yards. Carter Merrill running it in for 28 yards out, and Carter Templeton's PAT makes it 14-7 with 8:45 left. And then after trading punts 3 times over, Pierre gets another quick strike drive from their own 19-yard line after an 8-yard Carter Merrill run. Another long one from Lounsbury to Shufflebine, 73 yards as Lounsbury took it to the house. However, as Coach Steele mentioned, the kick was blocked, and I never even thought about it down to the tail end of that game, but that turned into a big play in this one. Pierre led 20-7 with 2:27 to play, and then after an interception of Chase Hermanson by Will Eilers, who returned it all the way to the O'Gorman 10-yard line. Pierre still had 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first half. However, after a promising start, there was a penalty in there that marked him back a bit. They ended up kicking a 26-yard field goal. Templeton kicked it well, and he makes it 23-7. That was our halftime score, as that came with 1:10 left. O'Gorman gets the ball to start the second half, and they punched it in. 7 plays, 52 yards, in 1:16 seconds. It was Chase Hermanson to Gavin Hamrick from 10 yards out. However, they go for 2 from there, and the run conversion failed. They settled for 6. It was 23-13. 10:44 to go in the third. And then after the Govs go 3 and out, they get another pick after Hermanson goes long. The Governors intercepted their second pass of the game, and then after a quick first down, they're kind of stalling right around midfield. They ended up having to punt again. So Gorman gets it with 5:07 left in the third. They go 11 plays and 80 yards, and they close out the third play with a touchdown on its final play, a 5-yard run around the right side from Ivan Myers. Nope, that was later. Actually, this is a Chase Hermanson to Ivan Myers 26-yard touchdown pass. And the PAT makes it 23-20 as we go to the fourth quarter. And the Governors start at their own 32-yard line. They had a big run by Carter Merrill that was destined for a 60-yard touchdown. However, a block in the back was called at the 21-yard line, and it was completely unnecessary as it turned out. But the Governors were penalized. In fact, they called it a clip, and that was a 15-yard penalty that marked him back to the 36-yard line. So Merrill got 39 yards on the play, but he could have had 60, could have been a touchdown, could have been a 30-20, presumably, score, and a 2-score lead for the Governors. However, on fourth down, Caleb Lounsbury threw long looking for Terwilliger, and the Knights actually cut in front of it, and they picked it off. The only turnover of the game, it was Logan Mabius with the interception. They would have been better off, 24 yards better off, if they'd have just let it hit the ground, but they pick it off. Didn't matter anyway. They start at their own 12-yard line. They go 10 plays, 88 yards in 4 minutes and 53 seconds, and then it was Isaac Myers from 5 yards out to give the Knights the lead at 27-23. That comes with an even 4 minutes to play, and the Governors running, the 4-minute drill in this case, almost to perfection. They pick up 4 first downs on a drive that gets them all the way down to the 5-yard line, but a couple of run plays, a run play, a pass play, and then after a few timeouts, they tried to get their best play in there, and Cooper Terwilliger came off the right tight end spot, and it was a slant over the middle. He had position, but Lounsbury, with the smoke that he had on it, and I don't know, maybe just a lot of sweat going on. You can't fault him, but Terwilliger will wish he had that one back, I guess, right through his hands as it turned out. And the bottom line is the play was not made, and the Knights win this one by the score of 27-23. Great ball game, but the Governors are just going to wish they had a few things back, mainly in that second half of play. Take a look at the stats in this one. I've got Pierre with 373 total yards of offense to O'Gorman's 347. There just were more big plays by the Governors in this one. In fact, O'Gorman with first downs picks up 19 compared to 10 on my stat sheet for the Governors, but here's how it all goes that way. Carter Merrill with a game high 135 yards rushing. He had 26 carries and 135 yards, had a 28-yard touchdown, was destined to have another 60-yarder, but again wiped away because of a penalty. Caleb Lounsbury, 2 carries, 4 yards, 139 total for the Governors on the ground. Unofficially through the air, Lounsbury 15 out of 24 for 234 yards, throwing 2 touchdowns. Did have the 1 interception, and he completes passes 5 times to Carter Shufflebein tonight for 147 yards, 48 and 73-yard touchdowns to go along with it. Cooper Terwilliger catches 4 passes for 45 yards. Jaron Deal with a 20-yard grab, pretty catch as it was. Lincoln Dilges catches 2 passes for 9 yards. Carter Merrill 3 screen passes caught for 13 yards, and again 373 total for the Governors. They were penalized 5 times for 35 yards marked against them, and again 10 first downs, 1 turnover in the interception, which really didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It was more just as much as a punt at the time. Meanwhile, for the O'Gorman Knights, they'll pick up just 86 yards on the ground, 70 of which come from Gavin Hamrick. And again, he gets the beast yards, 11 carries, 70 yards, had a touchdown of 10 yards in the last play of the first quarter included. It was also Chase Hermanson scrambling 3 times for 5 yards. Jack Stocklin had 1 carry for 2 yards, and Isaac Myers 1 carry, but it was the game-winning 5-yard touchdown as Gorman with, I had to retool on the re-add on this one. It's 84 total yards on the ground. Meanwhile, the Knights, well, they like to throw the football, and Chase Hermanson threw it 35 times tonight. He completes 27 passes for unofficially 272 yards. He was sacked 3 times for losses of 9 yards. Losses of 11 yards, so 261 net through the air, 84 on the ground, 345 yards total for the O'Gorman Knights. 6 different Knight receivers catch passes. They get 104 yards on 5 catches from Jack Stocklin. A couple of them set up scores. Logan Mabius with 8 catches for 53 yards. Isaac Myers with 8 catches for 60 yards, including a 26-yard touchdown to close out the third quarter. Braylon Treasure, a 4-catch, 40-yard night. Gavin Hamrick, 4 catches for 33 yards, including a 10-yard score. And Alex Christian, the backup tight end, had a 19-yard grab as well. Knights were penalized 4 times for 27 yards, and they pick up 19 first downs along the way. Did have 2 interceptions thrown by Chase Hermanson for 2 turnovers. They lose the turnover battle, but they win the ball game 27-23. Good game as it was, and a game that was filled with right on the money highlight plays brought to you throughout the broadcast by Rounds Financial Services in Pierre, where your money works for you. A couple of orders of business to take care of. The naming of tonight's player of the game is still to come, but let's talk about big plays of the game first. Big plays of the game are brought to you by Hermanson Endodontics. Let's hear from them, and we'll give you the big plays when we come back with more Pierre Governor football.
Quality comes first at Hermanson Endodontics. Dr. Brian Hermanson serves Central South Dakota with specialty root canal treatment. Hermanson Endodontics strives to provide treatment that's not only comfortable, but also provides the best possible outcome. They do this by effective and timely communication with your dentist and preserving as much healthy tooth as possible using state-of-the-art 3-dimensional imaging and the dental operating microscope to guide diagnosis and treatment. Ask your dentist if a root canal specialist is right for you. Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre.
Hermanson Endodontics, big plays of the game, and for the O'Gorman Knights, they make some big plays in the second half. Unfortunately for the Pierre Governors, that second half is, this game is going to be remembered from the Pierre standpoint for plays that weren't made, in fact, and you hate to dwell on those, but they are part of the big play story when we do talk about big plays of the game. The Knights had some big plays in that second half. I think the 26-yard touchdown from Hermanson to Isaac Myers to close out the third quarter really ensured that O'Gorman had the momentum in this second half. They closed to within 3, 23-30. And, of course, the Governors had 2 drives that went deep into Gorman territory in that second half. The Knights' defense was able to make the plays. But, of course, from a Pierre standpoint, you do think about that blocked PAT. Now, granted, we mentioned Alex Stoll on the second PAT really got in there, and he just whiffed on it. But the third opportunity, or the second time he got in there on the third touchdown for the Governors, he didn't whiff as the kick went right into his midsection. He gets that block, and the Governors were leading 20-7 at the time. And you think about that 1 point, that if that was on the board, the score would have been 27-24. And from the 5-yard line, the Governors probably kick a field goal, and we go to overtime, most likely. But as it turned out, that didn't happen. So that block kick turned out, in the grand scheme of things, to be a pretty big play. One of the Hermanson Endodontics big plays of the game. But again, unfortunately, it was a big mistake by the Pierre Governors on a Carter Merrill should be 60-yard touchdown run, but a block in the back by Cooper Terwilliger, I believe it was, and at the 21-yard line. Really unnecessary, but still just trying to help make a play. And that one marked the Governors back 15 yards. It was ruled a clipping, and it turned them back to the 36-yard line, and they didn't score from there, but it could have been 30-20 and a 2-possession lead at the time. So you do have to mention those, I think, if you're talking about big plays of the game. But these are things we don't dwell on. We just learn from them and move on. There's still 3 games left in the regular season. The Governors are they're 1 game better than they were at this very juncture last year. They were 2-4 then. They're 3-3 now. They've got they've got winnable games coming up, and if all things fall into place, they still can make a big postseason run. That's what the Governors do, and we'll see how that goes. Those are big plays of the game, brought to you by Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre. And before we get to our player of the game, and before we break for that, we remind you, you are listening to Pierre Governor Football.
KGFX FM and K296FI Pierre. When you're distracted, who's driving?
Cowboy Country.